This world. The men's looks are all shockingly perfect, scoring a full 100 points. Yet on their 20th birthday, they hold their own funeral. Even the young and handsome marshal of the three armies will die in agony on his birthday, because in this world, all men awaken as sentinels upon reaching adulthood. But sentinels are far too powerful. Without the mental soothing of a female-guide, they succumb to mental turmoil, turning into mindless beasts, until finally erased by the Empire. Guides in this world are exceedingly rare. Many high-ranking Empire officials, unable to find a guide, end up cutting short their own young lives. And our female lead, during a peacekeeping medical mission in Libya, the team was scattered by the missile strike. She was running for her life the whole way. Unexpectedly, I ended up in this interstellar world by mistake. And it is here to become a rare spiritual healer type guide, using her modern Chinese medicine to master the art of saving the interstellar world. The only hope for all sentinels. Yet Nana, who has just crossed over, remains completely unaware, still evading the pursuit of armed forces. But suddenly, a wave of dizziness strikes her head, as if something is about to burst out from her crown. Right at this moment, a violent explosion instantly jolts her awake. She quickly hides in the grass to investigate, only to see a spacecraft billowing thick smoke. Beside it are several men in unfamiliar military uniforms, all wearing expressions of agony. But what she doesn't know is, all of these are the twin shore sentinels on the verge of losing control and going berserk. They are all extra-militaristic beings. At the forefront was the Empire's once lofty supreme commander of the three armed forces, Orion Shen. And now, his contamination level has already exceeded 95%, facing the imminent danger of going berserk at any moment. Though his battle achievements are illustrious, he couldn't find a guide to soothe him. In the end, he was heartlessly abandoned by the Empire. Under the pretext of escorting criminals, they were discarded on a frontier planet, using what little time he had left to continue guarding the Empire's last line of defense, until he lost his sanity and became a frenzied, bloodthirsty monster. But who could have predicted that halfway through the flight, they were struck by a gamma-ray storm, caused by a supernova explosion? The spacecraft had no choice but to make an emergency landing on this desolate planet. Staring at the smoking wreckage on the ground, Orion wore a helpless expression. The supplies they carried were mostly destroyed. There isn't much food left. Only 3 days' worth of suppressants remain. For sentinels like them, with high contamination levels, even without food or water, they must inject suppressants daily. Otherwise, they'll immediately go berserk and lose their minds. Just as the sentinels were wallowing in gloom, Nana, hiding behind the grass, suddenly sneezed. It startled everyone. Before she could run, a man not far away shouted, "Who's there? Come out!" Instantly, Anna's legs trembled uncontrollably. She could only press her legs together and stand straight. But she was terrified inside. Her heart sank at the thought of never seeing tomorrow's sun again. She desperately tried to defend herself, still using English and broken local language, claiming to be a doctor in an international peacekeeping medical team. Hearing this, the person indeed stopped in their tracks. Nana was overjoyed. But when the sentry saw it was a female guide, he was completely stunned. Stammering, he said it was a guide. "Oh my God, it really is a guide. Looks like our ancestors must have blessed us to actually encounter a lone guide in this desolate star. This is an incredibly rare guide. Even in the Empire, we've never seen one. Wouldn't dare dream of this." Seeing the two men about to approach, Nana didn't think twice before turning to run. But the two sentries froze in place, unsure what to do. They turned to look at Orion Shen, asking, "Marshal, should we chase her?" Orion Shen was also dazed, taking a long moment to react. He was afraid. If they recklessly gave chase, it will definitely scare this distinguished guide. But this place is filled with dangerous, untamed stars. If a fragile guide isn't protected, they could face deadly peril. He glanced at himself and the brothers standing around him. All of them were high-pollution, high-risk sentinels. Were they really qualified to protect such a precious guide? But the situation was urgent. Now, there was no other choice. They could only release their spiritual forms and follow in the shadows to protect this esteemed guide. If this were anywhere else, such a rare guide would never have been left to their protection. Yet at this moment, Nana remained completely unaware, running for her life without a care. Only after putting considerable distance behind her did she dare to slow her pace slightly. She gasped as she looked around at her surroundings. She took out her phone and opened the map to check. The real-time location still had no signal. The map wouldn't refresh. The call wouldn't go through either. With no other choice, Nana could only pull out a compass from her pocket. Moving forward, her stamina kept draining. Unexpectedly, her stomach growled fiercely at that moment. At the same time, her head felt dizzy. But then, carelessly, her foot missed its step. Her body fell straight down. Before Nana could react, her body was cushioned by something vine-like, soft and fluffy, as if she had landed on cotton, comfortable, without any pain at all. She thought it was a hallucination from hunger. And at this moment, not far away, Orion Shen finally snapped back to reality. He patted his chest, let out a light sigh. Damn, that was way too dangerous just now. Though he said so with his mouth, his face was so red it looked like you could wring water out of it. Who knew the guide's body would be so soft? Meanwhile, Nana was still sprinting through the wilderness, completely unaware of what had just happened, and even less aware that she was being protected by the Sentinel spiritual entities in every direction without a single blind spot. Right now, she wasn't in great shape. Not only was she starving, but her head was throbbing painfully, as if something was trying to force its way out of her skull. With a squishy sound, instantly, the hidden Sentinel spiritual entities were all shocked. Wow, the guide's spiritual entity is a mushroom. So cute. Mechanic Qi Zhao couldn't help but exclaim. The Sentinels all started egging each other on, each wanting their own spiritual entity to snuggle up to that mushroom, and soon ended up in a tussle. Meanwhile, Nana out on the wasteland was staring wide-eyed at a little mushroom in front of her. Just now, with a plop from her head, this thing had popped out. For a moment, Nana felt like her entire worldview had shattered. But it seemed she could share senses with this poisonous mushroom. The mushroom's vision could also appear in her mind. Nana shakily reached out and touched the red mushroom on the ground. The texture was surprisingly nice. She couldn't resist the urge and lightly pinched the mushroom's cap. It instantly felt like she had pinched its soul. Her whole body shuddered. So their senses were truly connected. It was strange. Ever since this mushroom emerged from her head, her headache had disappeared, but her stomach seemed even hungrier. And she wasn't sure if it was just her imagination, but it felt like she wasn't the only one hungry. The red mushroom, sharing her senses, was hungry too. Her guts felt like they were twisting together. Nana swallowed hard. Luckily, she had a piece of chocolate in her pocket. She was about to take it out and eat it, when suddenly, she heard a rustling sound from the grass behind her. Nana and the little mushroom turned their heads almost simultaneously. The rustling grass immediately fell silent again. Startled, Nana grabbed the little mushroom and ran. Military officer Yan Lu stepped forward and scolded. "Look what you've done. You scared the guide away." They were indeed at fault. Their spiritual entities fighting had frightened the guide away. Follow and continue protecting the guide from the shadows. No more scheming against her spiritual entity. Nana clutched the little mushroom as she sprinted. She was convinced that running northeast would eventually take her out of the wilderness and back to the city. Fueled by this belief, she ran for nearly 40 more minutes. Nana didn't dare to look back or stop. But midway, she slipped on something. Her entire body flew forward from the momentum. However, something unexpected happened again. Her waist seemed to be caught by something slender and flexible, giving her a slight tug. She landed gently back on the ground. At this moment, Nana was completely baffled. It felt like some kind of vine had protected her. But when she looked around, she couldn't find any plant resembling a vine. Even the little mushroom clinging to Nana's shoulder looked puzzled. Was it a ghost? Nana shuddered, not daring to stay a second longer. She scrambled up and kept running like hell. Maybe she was just too scared. In the blink of an eye, fell heavily to the ground again. It felt like something had caught her again. At this point, Nana was completely exhausted. If she kept running, her lungs would explode. Ghost or demon, whatever. At worst, she'd just fight it. Nana couldn't stop psyching herself up in her mind. What was there to fear? She was a doctor, after all. Her whole life had been spent saving lives, a lifetime of good deeds. She'd never done a single wicked thing. Even if demons and monsters came, they'd still kneel and beg for forgiveness. Anyway, she couldn't run anymore. She lay on her back, panting heavily for a long time. The surroundings remained eerily quiet. Nothing happened. No ghost came to scare her. No monster came to eat her. Nana, having regained some strength, slowly crawled to her feet. The little mushroom perched on her shoulder also perked up its body. One human and one mushroom. Their gazes crisscrossed as they scanned the surroundings. There was nothing around. At the same time, she felt that overwhelming hunger again. Every cell in her body was protesting. And so was the pointy-headed little mushroom. Every single hypha screamed for energy replenishment. She reached into her pocket, fumbling and feeling around. Where was the chocolate she had tucked in her pocket? Where did it go? A bad premonition washed over her. Did it run away? For a moment, Nana almost wanted to cry. That tiny bit of something to fill her stomach. And she had managed to lose it. Nana plopped down on the ground, sticky and miserable. Her eyes turning red. Her hands incessantly rubbing her belly. The little mushroom crouched on her shoulder, put on a pitiful look. And the sentinels watching from afar were instantly heartbroken at the sight. Why did the guide suddenly start crying? Is there a possibility that after running for so long, she's just hungry? Just then, Sentinel Jauki reported that he had picked something up. Something that seemed to have fallen off the guide. Was she crying because she lost this thing? He seemed to suddenly understand something and planned to have his spirit quietly return it. But unexpectedly, Orion Shen abruptly spoke up to stop them. Wait, this won't do. The two of us give it a try. Get in touch with the guide, Your Excellency. Before he could finish speaking, he felt the death glares from the other sentinels around him. They were all sentinels. Who wouldn't want to be the first to get close to the guide, miss? In the blink of an eye, the sentinels were about to fight over this chance to interact. Until military officer Yan Lu hurriedly intervened. But there was no other way. So they had to let Qi Jiao go instead. Because his spiritual form was a shrunken wild boar from the grasslands, which looked relatively cute. And so, Qi Jiao, blushing, readily agreed. As for Nana, she wasn't too downcast at the moment. From her medical backpack, she pulled out a bottle of glucose injection and chugged it down in big gulps. Halfway through drinking it, her peripheral vision suddenly caught sight of the little mushroom on her shoulder, staring at her eagerly, as if swallowing its saliva. She paused for a moment, then reluctantly handed over the remaining 1/3 of the glucose injection to the little mushroom. The little mushroom immediately extended its snow-white hyphae, piercing into the glucose injection through the bottle opening. Soon, the liquid in the bottle began visibly decreasing until it disappeared entirely. Nana stared in near disbelief at the empty bottle, then glanced at the little mushroom, whose size hadn't changed at all. So much water. Where did it all go? A 500 milliliter bottle of glucose injection. was practically a drop in the bucket for them. Now, they were even hungrier. Nana couldn't help but sigh, but with nightfall approaching, he wondered if he should start a fire, maybe create some smoke signals, in case a rescue team spotted them. No time to waste. Nana immediately gathered dry branches, preparing to light the fire. While collecting the branches, her thoughts began to wander. Since they were starting a fire, shouldn't they roast something? Meat or vegetables, it didn't matter. When you're starving, who cares about the details? Suddenly, her gaze fell on the little mushroom on her shoulder. Never mind. It's poisonous. And she was the one who grew it. Not only inedible, but she had to raise it. Suddenly, she felt the weight on her shoulders grow much heavier. Nana was gathering dry firewood, while keeping her eyes fixed on the ground, searching for familiar edible wild greens. She came from a family of traditional Chinese medicine practitioners, and had studied traditional Chinese medicine at a military medical college. To say the least, the number of wild plants she knew that could serve both medicinal and edible purposes was absolutely not small. At first, Nana was full of confidence, believing she would definitely find plenty of edible plants. But after searching around, her expression gradually grew serious. From the moment she lost contact until now, she finally began to sense something unusual. None of the wild grasses on the ground were familiar to her. This was highly abnormal for her. The weeds growing here were unlike any she had ever seen before. My heart can't stop cursing in pain. What kind of place is this? Libya? She is well versed in traditional Chinese medicine. There are countless types of herbs in the world, and I know them all like the back of my hand. But she had never even seen the grass here before. If I eat the wrong thing, won't I just kick the bucket? Is this really still Libya? While lost in thought, Nana had already lit a bonfire. He even went out of his way to find some damp leaves to spread over the fire, produce even more thick smoke. If there were a rescue team, seeing the smoke plume over here, they'll definitely come check it out. Actually, Nana's heart was no longer ascertained as it had been at the beginning. As time passes by, the sky had already darkened. The surroundings were eerily quiet. Not a single human sound could be heard. At this thought, she couldn't help but feel scared. My stomach is even hungrier now. I clearly had breakfast this morning. But how she feels now. It's like being starved for 3 days and nights. But at this very moment, there was a faint rustling sound coming from behind. It's as if some animal is moving through the grass. Nana and the little mushroom on her shoulder turned their heads warily, staring at the direction where the sound came from. I only saw the grass swaying. A few breaths later, a small brown one, the adorable and clumsy little wild boar piglet, crawled out from the bushes. Nana saw this. At first, I was stunned, then uncontrollably hard. If it's a big wild boar, she would definitely run for her life immediately. No more thoughts. But such an adorably cute little wild boar. She thinks she can win the fight. The little wild boar is ready to be roasted. Her dinner tonight. Even tomorrow's breakfast is taken care of. This adorable little wild boar. It's the spiritual entity of Sentinel Qi Zhao. Qi Zhao had no idea what Nana was thinking. Even afraid of scaring this precious, yet timid one in front of me. Misguide. His spiritual form is a mini version of a wild boar. I still don't dare to approach recklessly right now. The little wild boar snorted and sniffed, making a purring sound, shamelessly acting cute. The spirit bodies of the other sentinels hiding in the shadows, seeing Qi Zhao in this state, looked down upon by everyone. Don't turn away, you damn hypocrite, always pretending. I had no idea how fierce it was during the fight just now. But Nana didn't know. Right now, Nana's gaze had long been glued to the little wild boar. Indeed, it's a very cute little wild boar. If the environment were different, she absolutely couldn't bring herself to even think about eating this wild boar. Now, she's really starving. Come here, little one. Nana showed a smile. reached out a devilish hand towards the little wild boar. Several miles away, Qi Zhao's eyes seemed to light up with an entire galaxy. Miss Guide called me kiddo. She even waved at me. Let me through. The soldiers next to him were all green with envy. The look in their eyes towards Qi Zhao was filled with nothing but envy and resentment. The little wild pig happily trotted along on its short legs. Staggering and wobbling, he ran towards Nana. Nana still raised her hand somewhat warily, gently stroked the little wild boar's back. Suddenly, the little wild pig let out a contented purring sound. Miles away, Qi Zhao's body was twisted almost like a pretzel. Miss Guide. She touched me. Sentinel Orion looked enviously at Qi Zhao, eagerly asking, Miss Guide, what does it feel like to touch your back? Qi Zhao blinked his eyes shyly like a tough guy. Very soft and warm. Like a cloud brushing gently over my back. I feel like I've returned to the vast grasslands. Returned to the embrace of the motherland. It's like galloping freely across the grasslands. Listening to Kixio's description, the group of sentinels grew even more jealous. Even from beginning to end, Orion Shen didn't show much expression. All eyes were on Qi Zhao, faintly tinged with a bit of longing. Unfortunately, his pollution level is too high and too dangerous. I'm afraid there's not much chance to get close to the guide. On the other side, Nana gently stroked the back of the little wild boar. The little wild boar didn't act shy at all. She was quite surprised too. She moved a little closer, holding the little wild boar in her arms like a cat or a dog. The little wild boar is very obedient, not a hint of resistance, even though she was disturbing and restless with hunger. Still got fooled by the little wild boar's docile act. Wait until the peacekeeping mission is over and we return to Huagu. She decided to keep a minipig or something as a pet. But right now, she's probably going to have to let this little wild boar down. Nana looked into the little wild boar's eyes. I don't know if it's just my imagination. How come it seems like from the eyes of a little wild boar saw the shyness? It must be that Nana thought she was probably seeing things. She raised her hand and rubbed the little wild boar's head again. Finally, she even gently kissed the pig's nose. Sorry, little piggy. Her hand pulled out the Swiss Army knife from her pocket. At this moment, Sentinel Qi Zhao, continuing to indulge in the girl's warm embrace, although it was the spiritual body that got kissed. But both the spiritual body and the physical body are connected. For a fleeting moment, Qi Zhao just felt a buzzing in his head. As if thousands of fireworks exploded all at once. It blew his mind blank. 2 streams of blood were still unconsciously flowing out of his nostrils. And Nana, on the other side, had no idea at all. After giving the little wild boar a kiss, she quietly pulled out a Swiss Army knife, aimed straight at the little wild boar's heart. Quick, ruthless, and precise the crude knife stabs down. Nana's mouth is distorting to water at this moment. It feels like holding a delicious sousted suckling pig in my arms. Unexpectedly, at this moment, suddenly, a blood-red vine shot out from the ground, tightly gripping the old boar's hind legs, pulled straight out of Nana's arms and sent flying. The tremendous force. The little wild boar fell and rolled on the ground several times. Then the vine whooshed back into the ground, disappeared without a trace. Nana was taken aback. I looked at my empty embrace. He looked again at the spot where bloody vines had burst forth. My mind went completely blank. It must be an illusion. If it weren't for the little wild boar still hiding in the grass far away, watching her helplessly. He's starting to question his whole existence, just running away from trouble. Do we really have to make the process so mysterious and convoluted? Nana looked at the little wild boar in front of her, scared to death. What if this little wild boar goes crying to his parents? What if we call the big wild boar over for revenge? At this thought, Nana's tears were about to fall. And on the other side, Qi Zhao, but looked utterly bewildered. Just a second ago, the guide lady was still petting and hugging him. The next second, how could she suddenly stab him in the heart with her words? It's not like I'm not this adorable. Why did Qi Zhao lower his head and wipe away his nosebleed? Straight up depressed. At this moment, Nana couldn't care less. Pick up the little mushroom and run for it. But she was already so weak from hunger. I could only drag my heavy legs and trudge forward with difficulty. Head northeast. I hope we can meet their skew team if we go this way. Just like that, Nana walked from dawn till dusk, just when she was about to lose all hope. It seems that heaven has opened a window for her. She actually saw a bamboo forest. There are still bamboo shoots in the bamboo forest. Her growling stomach finally had dinner secured. She pounced into the bamboo grove like a starving tiger. First, pull out a bunch of bamboo shoots. Light another bonfire. Bamboo shoots peeled and skewered. Straight to the grill. What surprised Nana the most during this time was she actually found bamboo worms in some bamboo shoots. Even the protein is there. The spirit entities lurking in shadows all around saw this. Eyes instantly dilated. Miss Guide, why put tender bamboo in the fire to roast? And those bugs that grow inside bamboo, why put it on the fire to roast anyway? Because on this planet, they've never even seen cooking before. Basically, they all eat nutrient pills or supplements. At this moment, Orion Shen suddenly ran open her mouth. Clearly Miss Guide was starving. We have to figure out a way. Send some nutrition apples to Miss Guide. At this moment, Qi Zhaokan confidently stepped forward again. I told myself to go deliver it. But before he could finish speaking, instantly, Everyone gave him the death stare. He already messed things up during the day. Now, he actually has the nerve to still want to go. Change the players. We must change the players. Amidst the commotion, all the Sentinels ended up in a brawl. In the end, there was really no other way. Orion Shen blushed and spoke. Since it's daytime, my spiritual form has already been seen by His Excellency the Guide. This nutritional pill will be delivered by my spiritual body. Hearing this, the other Sentinels had no choice either, because they really couldn't beat the Marshal either. At this moment, Nan and Little Mushroom, eagerly waiting for the bamboo shoots and bamboo worms to roast. But at this very moment, a blood-red vine suddenly burst out of the ground. Nana was so startled that she stumbled. The skewers in my hand almost fell to the ground. Here we go again. What the hell is this damn world? Helpless, I was just about to start running, but found the tip of the vine. It seems to be wrapped around something. Nana looked for a long time. Didn't dare to move a muscle. In the end, there was really no other way. The vine had no choice but to take out the small box containing the nutrient pills, put it on the ground, and then he shrank back into the ground again. Disappeared without a trace. Nana's brain just froze. Vines can even deliver things. Can you believe it? Her gaze finally landed on a small box on the ground. A delicate little box opened up. Found a few white particles lying inside. Like a little pill. It doesn't have any particularly special smell. So what the hell is this thing? And even made a special trip to deliver it. Gifts and betrothal presents. Could it be a mating call? Nana shivered. Pull back thundering thoughts. I rummaged through the box again. Nothing but pills. And not even include our manual or anything. And the spiritual entities lurking nearby. Looking forward to the guide. Miss, you swallowed nutrient pill? And Nana just tossed the little box aside. Keep grilling the skewers. Soon after, the bamboo worms gave off a fragrant, toasty aroma. She reached out and handed 3 bamboo worms to Little Mushroom. Eat the rest yourself. The bamboo worm is crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. Juicy in one bite. But the sentry snow far away saw. Instantly, it felt like the sky was falling. A sudden exclamation. Can't eat that. It's gonna kill some with poison. And amidst their exclamations of surprise, Nana swallowed another bamboo worm. Just about to enjoy third one when The vine swiftly flew over again. He snatched all the skewers from Nana's hands in one go. Completely cleaned out, didn't leave her a single thing. And at this moment, a few miles away, the sentries were so anxious they were scratching their heads in frustration. So anxious I cold stomped my feet. What if Miss Guidaget's poison? Is it too late to throw up now? At this very moment, Orion Shen's vines came back with skewers. He reached out and picked up a skewer of roasted bamboo worms, studying it right in front of me. Reached out again to grab from the bamboo skewer, holding a golden brown roasted bamboo worm. The other sentinels also gathered around. At the same time, Qi Zhao raised his hand and plucked a bug off the bamboo skewer. He held it up to his nose and sniffed, instantly shocked. What is this feeling? Smelling the scent of this bug. His mouth would involuntarily produce saliva. Without a second thought, heaped it straight into his mouth. I accompanied Miss Guidine getting poisoned together. The other sentinels agreed with Kixio's approach and followed suit. Orion Shen saw this. He also put the bamboo worm in his hand into his mouth. Didn't expect him to freeze the very next moment. Crispy and fragrant outer shell. The burst of sweet juice fills the mouth. But as far as he could tell, it's really delicious. Did we really take Miss Guide away? Are you preparing delicious food for yourself? As soon as this question was raised, all the sentinels present fell silent. It has always been the sentinels who provide for the guides. They're doing just fine. Snatching food right out of the guide's hands. At this moment, Nana stared blankly. Empty hands. Where's her skewers? Where's her dinner? Just like that, several skewers of bamboo worms and bamboo shoots were snatched away. Those bloody vines took everything. Didn't leave a single one for her. Not only did he snatch hers, not even her little mushroom was spared. Even the mycelium on a little mushroom, 3 skewered bamboo worms absorbing nutrients, was also snatched away. Could it be that the vines were even hungrier than them? Nana and little mushroom locked eyes. The same helpless, starving, pitiful state. For a brief moment, she really wants to cry. She just wanted to have a meal, that's all. Why is it so damn hard? But she dared not speak out despite her anger. That elusive blood-red vine. She's no match for him. In a moment, he'll save her again. Then he snatched her fit again in a bit. What the hell does this thing mean? Nana and little mushroom exchanged a glance. They each went back to their own sulky, withdrawn state for a while. In the end, my stomach was just too hungry. After a brief moment of shutting myself off from the world, Nana started looking garand for dinner again. Luckily, this is a bamboo forest. There are quite a lot of bamboo shoots. She came back with a lot of bamboo shoots again. Peel the bamboo shoots, string them together, and get it done in one go. Not far away, the spiritual entity hidden in the shadows. One by one, they've all turned into socially awkward idiots. All fell in toneless self-blame. The sky gradually darkened. Nana finally filled her stomach. But soon, they were plunged into a new crisis. It's so cold, then she leans against the bonfire. Yet I also felt a chill all over my body. The little mushroom seed to feel cold too. Nana curled up her body. He raised his hand and took a sip of air. Rubbing his arm again, Chiletto the point of goosebumps. If I could give it a bed and a blanket right now, how nice it would be. It's so sleepy and tired. So sleepy. Alone and on my own. If you fall asleep, what if wild beasts come from all around? It curled up from the cold. My head feels all fuzzy and heavy. Just as Nana was dazed from the cold, a blood-red vine silently emerged from the soil, came out from the middle, at the very tip of the vine. And it was wrapped in a sturdy combat jacket, then gently draped the tactical jacket over Nana. Nana frowned, sleeping in a daze. I had no idea all this was happening. I just felt enveloped in a warm embrace. I feel so at ease just like this. She fell into a sweet slumber amidst this warmth and peace. Over here Nana is sleeping soundly. On the other hand, with Orion Shen at the helm, the Sentinels' condition was also at its worst. The pollution levels awful of them exceeded 85%. Orion Shen's pollution level is shockingly high at 95%. If it were in any other place, they are an extremely dangerous bunch, out of control and going berserk at any moment. They need to take inhibitors every day, maintain physical and emotional stability. But the aircraft crashed. More than half of the inhibitors we carried couldn't be salvaged. Now, they must control the dosage of the inhibitors. So some of the hallmarks and symptoms of high pollution, it starts to show. For example, severe headaches and schizophrenia, to the point of losing control of their emotions and even their sanity, lashing out wildly. At this moment, these sentinels, more than half of them are suffering from severe headaches. Orion Shen's half-closed eyes. Red lights flickered from time to time. That is a sign of extreme restraint and impending loss of control. Unexpectedly, at this moment, Orion Shen suddenly looked up at the sentinel Yin Lu beside him. Do we have suppression collars in our supplies? Restraint collar. Give me one. Orion Shen took the suppression collar handed over by Yin Lu. Hang it around your own neck. If I lose my mind, randomly hurting people, don't hesitate. Press the contralateral medial. Inject a powerful anesthetic. Then kill me. Sentinel Yin Lu remained silent. After a long pause, he finally responded with a quiet okay. At this moment, Nana in the bamboo grove stretched drowsily. She had no idea how she managed to fall asleep last night. I unexpectedly feel like the quality of my sleep is really good. She sat up, suddenly noticed the coat draped over me. But last night, she clearly wasn't covered by anything, but she quickly recognized it from the color and style. This is the military group's clothing. But how did their clothes end up with her? She looked around in terror. If it really is those deers coming after us, there's no reason she could sleep peacefully through the night. Could it be that vine? Can you hear my voice? Nana tentatively called out in a soft voice. But there was no movement at all around. For being able to summon that vine, she doesn't have much confidence herself. Right at this moment, suddenly, a very faint sound reached her ears. The next moment, she saw a blood-red vine emerging from the soil. A sharp point, like a freshly sprouted fern. Shoot! Nana was so scared that she took 2 steps back. A bit surprised and a bit scared. She mustered her courage and said, "Vine immortal, can you hear my call?" The crimson vine gently tapped its vine tip. After discovering the vines could communicate, Nana's heart felt less timid. After all, they're outsiders. Nana didn't dare talk recklessly either. Keeping a safe distance with great tact, she pointed at the men's coat draped over her body. "Did you cover me with this piece of clothing?" The vine nodded. Nana had a smile on her face. "Thank you, vine," but there was no response, just standing still on the side. The little mushroom on Nana's shoulder is just like Nana, eyes blazing, staring intently at the vines. Nana felt both curiosity and awe toward this vine. But the little mushroom was different. It stared at the blood-red vines with only one thought in mind. "It smells so good, I really want to eat it." Nana can sense it. The thoughts transmitted from little mushroom's side. She didn't know how to respond at that moment. Fortunately, that vine couldn't sense the little mushroom's thoughts. Vine immortal. Do you have a main account? Just like her and little mushroom. She is the real deal. The little mushroom was born from her. Don't ask how she was born. Asked her, but she didn't know either. The vine stood stiff and motionless. Vine immortal. Can you show yourself? Do I have the honor of gazing upon your divine beauty? Yet the vines remained stiff and motionless. Not far away, the hidden sentinel spirits lurked in the shadows. Take Miss Guide. The communication with the mental entity of their marshal. I listened to the whole thing. Miles away. Qi Zhao looked at Orion Shen and said, "Marshal, just now, the tour guide lady was asking to meet with you, right? I think we should go and pay our respects to His Excellency the guide. Suddenly, all eyes were on them. A moment later, Orion Shen agreed. In the bamboo forest, Nana roasted some bamboo worms and bamboo shoots over the fire. The little mushroom is in charge of keeping the fire going, and she was in charge of spacing out. Suddenly, she noticed a hole on the ground slightly larger than a fist. Could it be a bamboo rat burrow? Looks like we've got dinner sorted for tonight. Just do it. She moved some fire from Theban fire over to the bamboo rat hole. They found some damp firewood and added it to the fire. A large amount of smoke was artificially produced. Then she used the one she had picked in her hand. Leaves as big as a fan. Blow the smoke hard into the bamboo rat hole. Soon, thick smoke filled the small opening. After a short while longer, the bamboo rats in the cave probably can't stand the smoke anymore. He darted straight out of the hole. Nana quickly lifted her foot and stomped on the bamboo rat. Unfortunately, 3 consecutive steps missed the bamboo rat. The bamboo rat was about to escape right before my eyes. Nana is getting impatient. He drew his saber. Get ready for a close quarters brawl with the bamboo rat. She had just bent down. A blood-red vine, like a sharp sword shooting out from the ground. Whoosh! The bamboo rat was stabbed straight through. A bamboo rat as big as a rabbit suddenly convulsed. After a couple of hits, it fell to the ground and stopped moving. Nana looked on eagerly, looking at the bamboo rat on the ground, but didn't dare to pick it up. Indeed, that scene just now really scared her. She always knew Bloodvine was strong, but I never expected it to be this powerful. Then, poof, just like that, it can stab right through the little bamboo rat. If the blood-red vines target her as prey, did it just pop like that? It could pierce right through her petite frame. So scary. The blood-red vines killed the bamboo rat, then crawl back underground. Disappeared without a trace. Nana shakily called out to the vine immortal. Do you want this bamboo rat? I waited for ages but no one answered. Unexpectedly, just as Nana was cleaning the bamboo rats, with Orion Shen asked the leading sentinel. We've already arrived not far from Nana. They came over to meet Nana. Many of the sentinels here have been like this since birth. Haven't even met the guide yet. Nana was the first guide they could meet. Everyone was instantly on edge. At this moment, Nana is busy cleaning the bamboo rats. Her busy demeanor was noticed by the spirits. I see that Miss Guide seems quite busy right now. How about we go visit a bit later? Instantly, all the sentries let out a collective sigh of relief. In the bamboo forest, Nana finally got the bamboo rat properly sorted out. Skewered on bamboo sticks. Set up a bonfire. Yet she had no idea at all. Just a short distance away from her, there was a team of sentries, nervous yet excited, waiting eagerly to meet her. At this moment, all the sentries have already packed up and are ready. Everyone stood at attention in perfect formation, majestic and handsome. Marshal, why don't you use the Venesto greet His Excellency the guide first? Then we'll head over there. So as not to scare your guide lady, Orion Shen nodded. At this moment, Nana in the bamboo grove was staring at the roasted bamboo rat. She plans to dry the bamboo rat meat by roasting it a bit more. Easy to store. It's already been a full day and night, yet still no rescue team came. She also had to prepare for the worst. Let's say he manages to get Hishans on the food he currently has. Save as much as possible. Additionally, we need to find a water source. And at this very moment, a blood-red vine suddenly emerged from the soil. The vine swayed in air for a while, then used the sharp tiptoe point in a direction. Nana quickly stood up, walked over in that direction. But they hadn't gone far when the sound of orderly footsteps could be heard right away. I saw a group of fully armed, tall and handsome men, emerging from Thedan's vegetation, appeared in her line of sight, facing the entire group of sentinels on the verge of going berserk. She still thought it was the terrorists who attacked her on Blue Star. She almost instinctively wanted to step back and run away. And the military Yanlu on the opposite side. It seems he noticed her fear, quickly speaking, "Respected guide, sir. We are active duty soldiers off 3rd Army of the Star Empire. Please don't be afraid. We would never harm you." Looking at the men armed to the teeth, Nana felt absolutely terrified. Unexpectedly, at this moment, all the Sentinels, they all turned their attention to Nana, saluted with a chest-thumping military gesture from the space age. Nana looked surprised. Her gaze couldn't help but sweep over these people, trying to find the answer from their clothing and logos. And yet, she didn't find anything she wanted. Nana pointed at herself with a puzzled look. "I am Your Excellency the guide." "Yes, you are the esteemed guide, Your Excellency. My name is Liu Yan, formerly served as the military advisor of the 3rd Army." After a brief exchange with Luck Yin, Nana felt like her head was about to explode. From yesterday until now, all her guesses and suspicions, at this moment, it seems to be confirmed. She actually time traveled. Nana took a long time to accept the fact that she had traveled through time. Turns out this star system is nothing compared to the Earth era. There's a big difference. These soldiers are all highly skilled sentinels with formidable combat abilities. Although formidable, but the pollution levels are all exceeded past 85%, due to the lack of the guide's mental comfort. Actually got sent by Thempire to a remote star system. Let them live already on their own. And yet, she herself waste guide they spoke of. Both sentinels and guide shave spiritual entities. The little mushroom that popped out of her head. That's her spiritual essence. At this moment, the sentries were all standing far away. I didn't dare touch it close to Nana. She lifted her gaze to look at the pair of sentinels. They all have broad shoulders and narrow waists. So damn awesome. And in the next moment, her gaze but landed on a sentry whose face was full of sorrow. He still had a strange black collar round his neck. When Orion Shen felt Nana's gaze fell upon her, he slightly raised his gaze. "Respected guide, Your Excellency." Nana pointed at the coat next to the campfire. "Is that piece of clothing yours?" Orion Shen nodded slightly. Nana hadn't yet said thank you. At that moment, the scent of something burning suddenly filled the air. It was her roasted bamboo worms and bamboo shoots that were ready. And that bamboo rat too. It also took on a tempting golden-brown hue. The sentinels also caught the scent. They all turned to look in the direction of the fire. Advisor Yan Lu said thoughtfully, "Your Excellency guide, these untested foods, eating it will likely poison you." Hearing this, Nana just blinked. It was as if she suddenly understood something. Why did that vine steal her food last night? At this moment, Yan Lu took out a small box from his pocket. "This is a nutrient pill. Eating one can replenish the body's energy expenditure for 8 to 24 hours. Nana froze the moment she saw the little box. She seems to have seen this thing somewhere before. She then looked at the man squatting in the distance, his face full of loneliness. For some reason, an inexplicable reason welled up in my heart. Yan Lu cut Nana off before she could continue speaking. "Wait until communication turns to normal. We will report your information to the Empire. At that time, new team will come to protect you. During this period, we'll take it from here. Ensure your safety and take care of your daily needs." At this moment, Nana didn't know what to say. Then she asked, "You're all sentinels with pollution levels over 85. Yan Lu nodded dejectedly. "Rest assured, we'll keep it under control. Once someone shows signs of losing control, we'll stay far away from your side. Others will also restrain the berserk sentinels. I swear by the spirit of the military, I would never hurt you." At this moment, the sentry still standing in formation not far away. Once again, he struck his chest with a fist. In unison, "We all swear by the spirit of the military, I would never hurt you." including Orion Shen, who was standing in the distance, also straightened up. Following the Sentinels' information, we took the oath together. The solemn vow left Nana momentarily stunned. After snapping out of it, she quickly waved her hands. I didn't mean it that way. Just wanted to ask. Since you say the guide can help Sentinels reduce contamination levels, then what should he do to help you? Hearing this, Yan Lu's heart was a tangle of emotions. Facing Nana's clear and piercing eyes, just smiled. You can't help us. Nana wondered why. Because our pollution levels are all too high. Ordinary grooming methods are completely useless. A thorough review is necessary. Deep spiritual cleansing can only be achieved through intimate bonding. And in the process of doing so, an out-of-control sentinel has a high probability of harming the guide. Nowadays, in an environment where guides are so scarce and precious, deep mental detox, it has been explicitly prohibited by imperial law. Of course, there's also another scenario. The guide's rank is a level higher than the sentinels. It can actually handle high-pollution sentinels, undergoing mental detox. But the lowest rank here is S-class sentinel. There aren't even 3 S-class guides in the entire empire. So the vast majority of sentinels, when the pollution level exceeds 70, will be heartily signed by the empire, till the very end. Go crazy and die. After spending the whole day together, Nana is pretty much confirmed. This pair of sentries meant her no harm. She could even feel it. They valued and protected her. After night falls, several sentinels led Bicky Zhao Orion and Yi Zhao. I built a simple bamboo hut for her. They are very fast. It's just getting dark. The bamboo house is already built. Nana turned around and glanced at the small bamboo hut built behind her. A thought suddenly popped into my head. People shouldn't indulge in pleasure all the time. She must do something for them. Immediately, he spicatoed the sentry Qi Zhao. Qi instinctive listed at attention. This look made Nana burst out laughing uncontrollably. Qi Zhao scratched his head. Actually, I just wanted to ask. What's your pollution level? Qi Zhao smiled shyly. My pollution level is 85. Counting up, among this squad of sentinels, Qi Zhao's pollution level is the lowest of the bunch. Nana also asked it at the same time. The 2 other sentries next to them. I'm 87. Come over here, all of you. Let me check your pulse for you. During the day, Yan Lu said Shekel didn't help them. They are the sentinels of high pollution levels. Ordinary grooming methods, unable to help them reduce pollution levels. The ordinary grooming methods mentioned by Yan Lu. It's the guide's trick. Since the guide's methods are no good. What about the methods of traditional Chinese medicine? She wants to give it a try. At this moment, Qi Zhao and the other 2 walked up to Nana. A face full of question marks. But Nana didn't pay any attention. Taking advantage of the moment, he pushed Qi Zhao's arm aside with his hand. He raised his hand and placed his fingers on the pulse at his wrist. But at the very beginning, things were still relatively normal. After that, it got faster and faster. Faster and faster. Like a speeding train. Nana looked utterly shocked. At this moment, Qi Zhao's face turned as red as a monkey's butt. Can he say he was too nervous? This is his first time with His Excellency the guide. Such close contact. And he kept holding my hand without letting go. Nana was instantly speechless. The 2 sentries on their side saw this, and I wish I could kick Yi Zhao away in one go. When it was their turn, one after another, faster than a heartbeat, blushing even more intensely. By the time all 3 of them had been examined, it's already late at night. Nana already has a general understanding of their situation. But how exactly should it be treated? She still needs to think it over. When Nana first read her Nento the bamboo house, just saw him lying on the bamboo bed. That Orion Shen combat jacket. She originally intended to return it to him. But for some reason, She always deliberately avoids her. Whenever she got close, Orion Shen will always get up and leave alone. But that coat weighs exceptionally warm. Nana was lying on the bed. I was reminded again of the time I took thepulses and examined Qi Jiao and the other two. After inspection, she did find some issues, but there were no medicinal herbs around her, even though many similar ones have been found here as well. But she was afraid Althese might have mutated, so I don't Dareto use it casually, since the traditional Chinese medicina prestipation didn't work for regulation. Only the acupuncture techniques of traditional Chinese medicine remain. Just like that, Nana drifted off to sleep amidst her wild thoughts. And what she didn't know was, the Sentinels' situation was even worse in the dark night. They simply couldn't fall asleep at all. Because they wanted to stay awake, a large amount of inhibitors must be used. And now, the remaining inhibitors are very few. Just have to grit my teeth and tough it out. Headache symptoms. It almost never stops crushing their will. Sleep is very important to them. That's just pure nonsense. When all the Sentinels were suffering in silence, the situation is different when there are 3 sentries. It's the 3 troublemaker show got checked at night. At this moment, they were sitting in a row by a patch of wild grass. Although the 3 of them looked a bit dazed, but couldn't stop the blush from spreading across my face. A silly grin plastered on his face. They didn't expect this guide to be so gentle. But they are all highly polluting sentinels, not qualified at all. Following this most gentle guide, my lord. After midnight, Marshal Orion Shen and Strategist Yan Lu quietly meet outside the bamboo hut where Nana is resting. After making sure Nana in the bamboo house was sound asleep, they urgently called all the sentries to a meeting, because they discovered a huge problem. All their supplies can only last for 7 days. Even when using inhibitors sparingly, we can only hold on for 3 more days at most. It will take at least half a month to restore communication. They suddenly felt the current difficulties we're facing far more serious than they imagine. Even if I don't eat or drink suppressants, it's absolutely impossible to hold out for even half a month. In this situation, they already had a vague idea of what was about to happen. If I hadn't met a guide on this barren planet, they must have stuck together thick and thin. At worst, we'll all be buried in this desolate heart. But now it's different. They encountered a precious guide, Your Excellency. Whether it's out of a soldier's duty, or perhaps the faith of a sentinel, they must all protect this Excellency the guide. They can die, but the guide cannot. Even the last breath. We must also hold on until the rescue team arrives. At this moment, Yan Lu took a deep breath with a determined gaze. So, some of us must give up the hope of living. Leave the supplies for the others to last longer. Protect this guide, Your Excellency. Keep holding on until the rescue team arrives. The sentinels were choked with sobs. Yet not a single person raised an objection. Because everyone is willing to serve this guide, Your Excellency. Sacrificed a young life. At this moment, those sentinels with pollution levels exceeding 90 voluntarily put on the restraint collar. They will no longer inject inhibitors. It's a heavy dose of anesthetic on a collar. As long as I lose control and go berserk, will be directly injected with anesthesia. In the end, they turned into bones and were buried on this desolate planet. And when Nana woke up in the morning, she had no idea at all. When stepping out of the bamboo hut, I just felt that they all looked grim. Even yesterday, he was still grinning like an idiot. The 3 people, Qi Jiao and the others, underwent testing. It seems there were alcetear stains on the face. But when they saw it was Nana, a big smile instantly appeared on his face again. At this moment, Qi Jiao steps forward and said to Nana with a smile. Nana laughed and said, "We're not far away. Found a hot spring at first glance. Do you want to go freshen up?" In a daze, Nana thought it was just her imagination. Didn't think much of it. At this moment, she was covered in dust and dirt from head to toe. Even to evade the pursuit of armed forces, still smeared Madal over his face. After hearing this news, Nana was overjoyed. Quickly asked where Eth hot spring was. But the news said there were still over 20 kilometers to go. If walking, it would take 2 days and 2 nights. Instantly, Nana felt a bit disappointed. The news reveled Nana's disappointment. Hurry up and tell Nana to rid his spiritual beast over there. Very fast speed, 300 kilometers per hour, wheeled there in just a few minutes. But Nana froze. But his little wild boar was clearly so tiny. Others will definitely say she's bullying small animals. But it was only the blink of an eye before she. That little wild boar was like a balloon being blown up. The little wild boar that was so adorable before. In an instant, they all turned into giant wild boars as big as elephants. Nana stared wide-eyed at the giant wild boar in front of her. But she couldn't even reach the wild boar's back. Just as Nana was feeling puzzled, the massive wild boar obediently crouched down, lying on the ground. Nana raised her hand in surprise. He touched the boar's back. The young wife's face instantly turned as red as a monkey's butt. Nana guide. You ride on it. My spirit beast will carry you to the hot springs. Just as Nana was about to make a move, 2 more enormous creatures appeared by her side. A majestic black eagle. One is a strong, undoggedly black panther. Nana guide. This is my spiritual black hawk. You can also rid me spiritual beast. To my spiritual realm where thoughts can fly. Sentinel Yi Zhao looked at Nana with eager anticipation. Orion also quickly spoke up. Nana laughed and said, "This is me spirit animal, Black Panther. Not only is the fur soft, and it's very fast, you can also rid me spiritual beast." At this moment, Nana was both amused and exasperated by what she saw. Praise keeps pouring from their mouth. And Orion and Yi Zhao, her eyes lit up instantly. Qi Zhao looked utterly dejected, because his mental strength is truly formidable. But the enlarged boar form looked a bit rough. In terms of appearance, can't compare, simply no match at all. Nana didn't even think twice. Climbed directly on top wild boar's back. After thanking Orion, Yi Zhao, he rushed straight out. Just like that, the giant wild boar galloped across the wilderness with Nana. What amazed Nana the most was 3 scouts running alongside the wild boar. Qi Zhao, Orion and Yi Zhao. The 3 of them relentlessly on their own 2 legs. Even matched with the wild boar. Nana was so shocked her jaw nearly hit the floor. Just like that, we arrived at the Springs in less than 20 minutes. And over here, at Hot Springs, the 3 of them were already fully prepared. They even thoughtfully built a bamboo fence around it to let Nana rest peacefully. The temperature has been tested and is good. When Nana arrived, they started doing guard duty. The little mushroom was placed outside the fence by Nana to stand guard. It's not that I don't trust Qi Zhao and the other 2. She can share a career with Zhao Mogu. Having a little mushroom by her side makes her feel more at ease. The hot spring is very relaxing. Soaking is even more enjoyable. Nana restrained herself fan didn't soak for too long. Just wash off the dust and sweat from your face and body. He put on his clothes and walked out of the fence. Not far away, Qi Zhao and the other 2 saw Nana approaching. There was a moment of stunned silence. Before, Nana's face was always covered in mud and soot. And now standing before them she was a stunningly beautiful woman who took your breath away. At this moment, Nana, a happy smiley appeared on his face. On the way back, she rode the black eagle. The black eagle was originally flying steadily. But Nana started acting mischievous. Keep demanding the Black Hawk to dive rapidly, spiraling up like a roller coaster. Nana kept screaming excitedly non-stop. When returning to the camp, her cheeks flushed headfantly with excitement, like the first bloom of peach blossoms in battle. Not far away, Several sentries were standing there dumbfounded. Nana greeted them. They were all still dumbfounded, unsure how to react. But she saw. They all have black collars around their necks, same as what I saw yesterday. Marshal Orion Shen is wearing same thing around his neck. Nana didn't think too much about it at the time. After taking a nutrient pill, he took out a human acupoint chart from his backpack, studying it laid out on the ground. She had already agreed with Kixio and the other two yesterday. They need to have their bodies regulated. Although there are no drugs, but you can try the essence of traditional Chinese medicine acupuncture. At this moment, Qi Zhao, who had just arrived, saw it. When she recounted it all to Qi Zhao, the method she's about to use is. The young wife froze in an instant. Nana guide. You're still a doctor. At this moment, Nana. He solemnly saluted Yan Lu with a military salute from the Huaguo era. Yan Lu stared blankly at Nana in front of him. In a daze, he seemed to have an illusion. The petite guide before his eyes. This moment seems to be shining. So he also stood at attention, remembering an Interstellar of beating one's chest. Military salute. The sentries at the gate took in the entire scene. I also feel Likanana is glowing. A faraway place. Orion Shen stood there quietly with the collar around his neck. He is also looking at Nana. Looking at that girl Wo seemed to be glowing. It's a shame his pollution level is already way too high. I don't even have ferrite to walk up to her. That girl's dazzling glow. Destined to never belong to him. Watching the young girl salute Yan Lu, he also silently returned a military salute, then silently continued to hide in the shadows. At this moment, obvious signs of mutation have already appeared on his body. Streaks of blood red, patterns resembling Theodore's skin of a wisteria vine, appeared on his exposed skin. There's also something on your face. It looks absolutely terrifying. Yet Nana remained completely unaware, still seriously studying the human acupoint chart in the pursuit of material things. And she wants to give Qi Zhao to 3 people. The matter of using traditional Chinese medicine to regulate the body. It had already spread among the Sentinels. The Sentinels don't know what traditional Chinese medicine is. I don't even know how to use traditional Chinese medicine to regulate my body. What's the treatment method? But that doesn't stop them from admiring Qi Zhao. Orion and Yi Zhao wreathe envy of 3 people. Afternoon. Nana finally marked all the acupoints on the meridian chart. Also include the acupuncture needed in the medical kit. Disinfection completed in full. During this time, she actually noticed 7 little. Orion and Yi Zhao pretended to act nonchalant. She passed by her at least 7 or 8 times. Looks like they're even more anxious than she is. Then Nana called them over. Unexpectedly, the 3 of them instantly sprinted at full speed, like a 100-meter dash, appearing in front of Nana in a flash. I plan to use traditional Chinese acupuncture. Let me help you regulate your body. Who among you will go first? Qi Zhao took the lead. I came at him with a knife, but he wasn't scared at all. Such a thin little silver needle wouldn't scare him. Nana immediately asked Qi Zhao to sit down and take off his clothes. Just a moment ago, Qi Zhao still wore a fearless expression. After hearing that, I had to take off my clothes. His face turned red almost instantly. We still have to take our clothes off? Nana blinked her eyes. Couldn't help but laugh out loud. Take off your shirt, that's enough. Hearing this, Qi Zhao finally let out a huge sigh of relief, revealing well-proportioned and firm muscles. When Nana's gaze lingered on his muscles, I can't help but sigh in my heart. If only I had a body like this. Posted on China's short video platforms. I wonder how many pretty girls will be calling me hubby. She kissed Shen's forehead. Just picked up the silver needle. When fingertips lightly touched Qi Zhao's skin, Qi Zhao tensed up instantly like he'd been electrocuted. So much so that he was overly nervous. He was even stammering a bit when he spoke. The surrounding sentinels all fix their gazes on Qi. Then, they were just curious. And now, has turned into outright jealousy. They also really want Miss Guide to pat them. As for being pricked by needles, or whatnot, they've braved countless dangers. What are a few thin needles worth? Even if I get turned into a porcupine, I don't care. At this moment, Nana was unaware of the sentinel's thoughts. She held the silver needle, found their acupoint, and pressed it gently. But Qi's muscles were too tense. The stiff needle couldn't pierce through at all. Take it easy. This way, I can't even stick the needle in. Hearing this, Qi blushed. The muscles are more toned and firm. Nana frowned. He looked up and was about to say something. In the corner of my eye. But suddenly caught a glimpse of man's slightly flushed neck. The crimson hue continued to spread downward along the neck. Watching this spreading crimson hue, Nana seems to have figured something out. She didn't know exactly how old Qi was either. But just from appearance alone, he looks very young. He should be in the prime of his youth. If it were in Huaguo, they should still be in college. But in this era of interstellar travel, he is already capable of heading to the border regions. The sentinel warrior faceteth with unwavering courage. Because of thy identity as warriors, I didn't think of him as the innocent college boy type at all. But now, it seems Shu is overthinking it. Qi could only take deep breaths to ease his nervousness. After taking a deep breath for a full 5 minutes, his muscles finally began to relax slowly. Nana slightly leaned forward. With skillful hands, the silver needle slowly inserted into the acupoint. Qi only felt a slight pricking sensation. It didn't cause much pain. Just like that, the fine needles were inserted into the acupoints one after another. Not long after, Qi's back and arms, even the top of his head was covered in silver needles. Finally, there are a few acupuncture points that still need bloodletting. Nana took a sharp triangular needle from the pincushion. After thorough disinfection, get ready to bleed some cash. She gently held Qi's fingers. Carefully disinfect the fingertip with an alcohol cotton ball. Then swiftly and precisely prick the Tengshuan acupoints with the 3-edged needle. The moment the needle pierces the skin, Qi just looked on calmly. It doesn't seem like there's much pain. Nana gently squeezed her fingertips. A few drops of dark red blood slowly seeped out. She kept squeezing until the blood turns bright red. Use a sterile cotton ball to apply pressure and stop the bleeding. The same goes for other acupoints. Nana was fully focused the entire time. The surrounding sentries, looking at it up close. This treatment method was something they had never heard of before. Looking at the countless silver needles inserted into Qi's body, they were all very curious. After being covered in silver needles all over the body, what exactly does it feel like? Just a few drops of blood, that's all. Compared to the wounds they suffered on the battlefield, this is nothing at all. At this moment, Qi noticed the spot where the fine needle was inserted. A warm feeling actually came over me. Silver needle. 20 minutes later, Nana started pulling out the needles. This process is very fast. Soon enough, all the silver needles in Qi's body were removed. And Qi instantly felt. My body felt lighter than ever before. Even a splitting headache. It seems like a lot of the burden has been lifted at this moment. For sentinels with such high pollution levels like them, the intense headache was tormenting them almost constantly. It's just that I usually force myself to hold it in. Seeing Qi show a relaxed smile, Orion, standing beside them, had a puzzled look on his face. All right, how do you feel? Has the headache eased up? At this moment, Qi closed his eyes and took a moment to feel. She flashed a sweet smile. Oh, my God. Really, lightened a lot. So much now. Qi's eyes were brimming with radiance. He looked toward Ian Lu, not far away, carefully asking, Army Division, do you think it's possible? My pollution level after receiving that acupuncture treatment from Guide Nana. It's been lowered a bit. As soon as he said this, the scene instantly fell into an eerie silence. Yan Lu was stunned for a long moment. Just barely opened his or her mouth. Are you sure you're no messing with me? Qi Zhao is very serious. As far as I can tell, my current state, after being injected with a sufficient dose of inhibitors, it's much more relaxed. After speaking, Kixio's gaze fell upon Nana. Nana Guide, did you just sort out my mental landscape for me? Right now, in front of me. Qi Zhao's entire eye seemed to be glowing. But Nana was completely stumped by this question. Because she didn't know either. She only knew that she used traditional Chinese medicine techniques. But no matter what, given his current state, it's so much better than before acupuncture. Nana Guide, thank you so much. Hearing this, Nana shook her head slightly. At this moment, the slanting sunlight fell on the side of her face, as if she were the light in his life. Right after that comes that treatment for Orion and Yi Zhao. But Nana only has 3 sets of disposable needles, and here there are a full 20 or more highly polluted sentinels, so she could only clean, disinfect, and reuse them. Even though her face was covered in sweat, they must also be made to stick it out until the end. Seeing Nana in front of me, everyone was heartbroken. Yet Nana had to keep going with the treatment until the end. And chatted with them as well. I used to work 996 at Blue Star Hospital. After saying that, he pinned Orion and Yi Zhao down on the bench. Make them take off their shirts. Didn't expect that. Their reaction was exactly the same as Somion, who just cooled down from anger. Looking at reddened earlobes, Nana instantly felt these warriors were brave and decisive on the battlefield. In reality, every one of them is a gentle and innocent boy. But just as she was focused in giving them acupuncture, no one noticed her little mushroom. Quietly and stealthily, he jumped to the spot where the blood had just dripped, spreading mycelium. Dilute all those drops of blood that seeped into the soil. Even the blood-stained cotton ball that Nana tossed aside didn't let go of any. After doing all this, still looking like hadn't had enough. Over here, Orion and Yi Zhao's treatment has also reached the bloodletting stage. Slightly darker blood dripped from the fingertips onto the ground. Nana just used a cotton ball to whip the blood off her fingertips, then continued to puncture the Sichuan point on the other hand, bleeding all the way. Her focus was completely unwavering, didn't notice her spiritual presence at all. Little Mushroom was hopping Garen happily once again. Arrived at the place where blood was dripping, quietly spreading mycelium, turned the blood seeping into the soil. Absorbed cleanly once again. When the acupuncturian this side is finished, all the sentry gazes were fixed on them. Before Nana could say a word, the sentries came over and asked how you were feeling. Is there really a feeling of complete relaxation like Qi Zhao said? Does your head hurt badly? The sentries all stared at them with piercing eyes. Also includes Nana. At this moment, they raised their heads. The eyes sparkled with immense excitement. I just feel like a complete mess. It feels as light as if reborn. At this moment, Leon Li spoke again with sincere respect. Honored guide. Once again, sincerely thank you. No matter what happens in the future, just say the word. Even if it means taking my life. If I so much as frown, I'm just not a sentinel. At this moment, both Qi Zhao and Yexio spoke up urgently at the same time. For you? We are willing to sacrifice our lives. Their eyes were filled with determination and sincerity. The other sentinels saw Qi Zhao and the other two pledge their loyalty. Eyes filled with nothing but envy. They too wish they could swear allegiance to Nana like them. Throughout the entire treatment process, Nana's thoughts and her spiritual companion, the little mushroom. Actually, it's empathy. Nana just thought back for a moment. I knew exactly what little mushroom was up to. But he did it while she was focused on applying the needles. He drank all the blood that was drained from the bodies of several sentinels. She could sense the emotions coming from little mushroom. So delicious, so delicious, so delicious. Nana, give me more. When night falls, maybe because I'm too tired, Nana went to bed early. The torment of the night for the high-pollution sentinels has only just begun. A severe headache killed his sanity. Sleepless night after sleepless night. It's all in a day's work for them. But at this moment, 3 sentries seem to have become an exception. Qi Zhao, Orion, and Yi Zhao. The 3 of them. During the day, after receiving acupuncture from Nana, I feel it on both a physical and mental level. Extremely relaxed. It was barely dark when an unfamiliar drowsiness came over me. But ever since their pollution levels exceeded 70, I haven't felt such pure drowsiness since then. Soon after, the faintest snoring broke the stillness of the night. Many sentinels were completely baffled. They all cast looks of envy and jealousy. It also includes a sentinel named Mori with a pollution value exceeding 93. His spiritual body. It's a highly venomous king cobra. Although formidable. But every day, he suffers immense mental torment. Because his pollution level has already exceeded 93. But ever since that meeting that night, he never injected inhibitors again. He even voluntarily put on a restraining collar around his neck. This will be physically. Severe illnesses caused by extremely pollution levels have already emerged. The area between his cheeks and neck, many snake scales have already become visible. Maybe there's even more under the clothes. He has lost count of how many nights he hasn't slept. Just sit on the ground and slowly wait for the dawn. And Nana from the bamboo house. I woke up because I was hungry. But she just took a nutrient pill last night. Under normal circumstances, the nutrient pill can keep her from feeling hungry for 24 hours. But now she's starving. She rubbed her belly. Get up to grab nutrient pills. The little mushroom popped out of her head at that moment. Jump onto her shoulder. She sensed it. The information passed over from little mushroom's side. So hungry. Nana chuckled helplessly and popped a nutrient pill into her mouth. Then he casually reached Udo, rubbed the little mushroom's cap. The feeling in my palm isn't quite right. She turned her head to look and froze on the spot. The little mushroom has actually grown a whole size bigger. It's like being inflated. Suddenly she remembered. Yesterday, mushroom actually sucked the blood of those sentinels. Only then did it suddenly dawn on me. Her little mushroom actually sucks blood. Nana suddenly felt an inexplicable panic. Could it be that from now on she'll have to go around getting blood everywhere? Come and take care of this little mushroom. The wandering thoughts were pulled back by the hunger in my stomach. It's very strange, in the past just taking in nutrients would. You won't feel hungry for much longer. And now, it's been a while. Why do I still feel unbearably hungry? She suddenly felt so hungry she could pass out. Could it be that the nutrient pills have expired? She ate another one. Feeling just a tiny bit better. But still hungry. So I thought about hunting some game to eat. With such thoughts in mind, Nana came out of the bamboo house. And Qi Zhao and the other 2 stood there like 3 javelins, protecting the safety of the bamboo house. Hearing Nana's footsteps, the 3 of them quickly walked over. Qi Zhao's eyes were filled with obvious excitement. Nana laughed and said, "Your acupuncture yesterday was truly amazing." Orion spoke excitedly. Nana was also happy to hear it. She could finally do something for them. Even though she still feels quite hungry right now. But she had to do thing first. Under the leadership of Qi Zhao and the other 2, Nana found Yan Lu at the site of the aircraft explosion. Yan Lu looked at the ruins. It seems like deep in thought. What's the exam? He heard movement behind him. Suddenly turning around and realizing it was Nana standing there. He clearly froze for a moment. Nana guide. The 2 of them exchanged a knowing smile. Nana said, "The army division. I want to discuss acupuncture with you." since acupuncture can help relieve anger. The symptoms they're experiencing can all be relieved. Then the other sentries held all be fine. I just want you to orange it over here. Let the other sentinels commando me for treatment as well. Yan Lu's eyes are very bright. Nana, the tour guide, cools down. The condition of the three people after acupuncture. It's so much better than from last night until now. None of the three of them had ever received an inhibitor injection, not even once. In this situation, under their current circumstances, where inhibitors are in extremely short supply, acupuncture can save the lives of more sentinels. But there are only 3 sets of needles. Last night, I already cleaned and sterilized the acupuncture needles. But this kind of disposable film needle is very thin. It's very easy to damage. I'm not sure how long the 3 sets of needles will last. But one thing is certain. 3 sets of acupuncture needles definitely won't last long enough to give every sentinel an acupuncture session. Upon hearing this, Yanlu pondered for a moment. I'll figure this out. Just like that, Nana rode away from the explosion scene on a Black Panther. Yanlu also left at the same time. He had to arrange the order for the sentries to receive acupuncture treatment. When we returned to the bamboo grove, Nana mysteriously beckoned to Qi Zhao and the other 2 with a flick of her finger. The 3 of them gathered around in confusion. Let's go hunting. Improve the meals. Nana instantly felt that her little brain was quite clever. She actually came up with this perfect plan. Hearing this, the 3 of them were completely baffled. Although I don't understand, but the 3 of them left no meaningful impression at all. After entering the bamboo forest, Nana has a clear division of labor for them. Yi Zhao Orion went to find the bamboo rat. Small animals like rabbits or snakes try to live as much as possible. Yi Zhao and Orion heard this. Summoned the spiritual entity immediately. With a few leaps, darted into the bamboo grove. Disappeared from Nana's sight. Yet Qi Zhao was forced to stay behind to peel bamboo shoots. Before long, Yi Zhao and Orion brought a few bamboo pit vipers with them. He came back with a few bamboo rats. Nana saw it. Light a fire immediately. After cleaning the ingredients thoroughly, he placed it directly over the fire to roast. Just a second ago, the 3 of them were still trying to talk them out of it. Do not eat poisonous food. And the next second, he actually started eating with great relish. Just like that, they had a hearty and satisfying meal in the bamboo forest. An hour later, they returned to the bamboo house with great satisfaction. Had a delicious meal of grilled snake meat. Of course, happiness. But what made Hirven happier was, it was that half-eaten snake meat she was holding in her arms. And 2 bamboo rats eat up with rattan strips. The next meal, and even the ones after that are all taken care of. At the bamboo house, sentries were already waiting. After seeing Nana come back, Yan Lu immediately steps forward to greet them. Nana guide. Today, we can allow the sentinels with slightly higher pollution levels. Should I try acupuncture first? Nana agreed without a second thought. At this moment, just then, a sentry lowered his head and walked up to her. Her downcast eyes were filled with melancholy. Nana guide. My name is Morion. Morion's voice was as faint as a wisp of smoke. As if about to vanish in an instant, Nana followed the sound and looked. And the next moment, she was instantly stunned. Looking up, the man's face and neck area, every inch was covered in blood-red patterns. There are still small scattered scales. It looks like he's in worse shape. The frenzied and mindless sentinels of Twin Shores. But he's meek and submissive towards a human girl. Just one look from her. These berserk soldiers have a fierce and brutal expression. In an instant, everyone was scared. They all dropped to their knees. Even if the girl turns me into a pincushion with her needles, drain 10 kilograms of blood, still have to kneel on the ground to show gratitude. Because she is the only hope for survival of all the star sentinels. The sentinels here all have pollution levels exceeding a shocking 85. But they all failed to receive the spiritual comfort of a female guide. He could go berserk at any moment, turning into a mindless monster. And yet, she only used ancient Chinese acupuncture. In an instant, they could easily be pulled back from the brink of death. Seeing the sentry in such a critical condition before my eyes, Nana's heart immediately leapt into her throat, quickly asking what your current pollution level is. And across from them, a trembling figure softly uttered, 93. Hearing this, Nana was instantly startled. Oh, my God, it's actually 93. What kind of snaky is that? Spirit entity? After speaking, the sentinel lowered his head even further. He actually knows. Guides are the most disgusted by cold-blooded spiritual entities. He never even thought about it. One day, there will be a chance to meet a guide. At this moment, Nana's gaze was searching over Orion, probably because his spiritual form is a snake. Seems like he's exuding an icy aura all over. Feeling Nana's gaze, Orion lowered his head even further. Nana seemed to sense the inferiority complex in his heart. Instantly smiling slightly, come sit by me. Reach out your arm. Orion slowly raised his head. Didn't expect to look up, and I just bumped into Nana's gentle gaze. Don't be nervous. Orion obediently stretched out his arm. At this moment, a sentry suddenly spoke up in confusion. Huh? Aren't we supposed to take off our clothes? Orion immediately lowered his head even further. He thought he was being disliked, but never expected the next moment. A soft hand rested gently on his wrist. Nana clearly sensed his nervousness, but still, he carefully took his pulse. The surrounding sentries watched quietly. Although I don't understand, but still think it's pretty awesome. Nana checked his eyelids and tongue coating again. He was practically holding his breath the entire time. He also took off his shirt as Nana requested. Instantly, his face turned so red, it looked like you could wring water out of it. But his body was covered in scales all over. If using acupuncturation needles, it is definitely impossible to penetrate the hard scales. Its pollution level is very high. The physical somatization is very severe. The whole body is very ugly. Nana's gaze fell upon Orion, just as she thought. She reached out and pressed the scale. Instantly, the scales in its back tensed up. In response to the sentinels received and awkward reactions, she had long since stopped being surprised by such things. They're all a bunch of tough-looking but pure-hearted boys. The scales feel very hard. The defense should be pretty solid. But for the upcoming acupuncture session, it's really quite troublesome. Can you control and retract these scales on your back? Orion shook his head. He can't do it. Symptoms of somatization. He has absolutely no control over himself. Even if an inhibitor was injected, can only let the scales in the face and neck. It's gone down a bit. As for the body, absolutely no way. Unless its pollution level can be reduced below 90. But it's impossible. The guide won't assign a high pollution value sentinel. Conducting deep mental decluttering. Even imperial law doesn't allow guides to do this. Of course, he wouldn't have such extravagant hopes. Now acupuncture can be used to alleviate some physical pain. For him, it's our best case scenario. Nana crouched down. Take a 3-edged needle from the pincushion, trying to pierce it through his scales. The scales are very hard. The tip of a 3-edged needle. There wasn't the slightest sign of piercing the scales. Not even a trace was left. The few people next to Yan Lucixio also noticed something was wrong. Even Orion himself noticed. Miss Guide couldn't seem to pierce his scales. At this moment, Yi Zhaozidendenli spoke up. Guide Nana. The snake scales have strong defensive capabilities. How about I be your assistant instead? Where do you want the needle to go? I'll poke a hole in his scales for you in advance. That doesn't seem like a bad idea. Nana still asked Orion. Is this okay? Sure, Orion agrees. A faint trace of annoyance lurked in the dull voice. Yesterday, when Miss Daoe was giving Jiao and the others acupuncture. It's all one-on-one acupuncture. Miss Guide's voice was so gentle. Guide them to breathe and relax. It will also remind them that it might hurt a bit when drawing blood. Back then. How envious this group of highly polluting sentinels is. But when it came to him, because of the scales on its body, originally it could have been one-on-one acupuncture. And now third person has suddenly barged in. It just so happens that this person is Yi Zhao. Snakes and eagles are irreparably natural enemies. Yi Zhao and Orion have had plenty of fights between them in the past. No one submits to anyone else. Look at Yi Zhao again. It's a complete litigant situation now. He rubbed his hands eagerly and walked up to Nana. Speaking of Nana, where should the guide perform the acupuncture? Point out where I am. I'll put a hole in you. As soon as the words were spoken, Yi Zhao flipped his hand. The fingers instantly transformed into sharp, eagle-like claws. Nana takes a look at Yi Zhao's eagle claw. Indeed, it's very sharp. Looks deadly at first glance. At this moment, Nana began marking acupoints on Orion's body. Before long, Nana looked at Yi Zhao. On these scales I've marked. Poke a small hole. As long as you can get the needle in. Don't make too big of a wound. At this moment, Yi Zhao was already itching for a fight, but still flashed a mouthful of white teeth. Speaking of brothers, I'll be careful. But if I accidentally alert you later, you'll have to bear with me on this. Orion was speechless, looking at Yi Zhao's punchable smug face. His fists instinctively clenched a little tighter. But Nana, the guide is still right in front of us, watching. He was already prepared for Yi Zhao to pull a dirty trick. No matter what loss I suffer today, he'll call back tomorrow. But it still feels so damn frustrating. Please, I'm begging you. Orion gritted his teeth. Yi Zhao immediately smiled even more brightly. The onlooking sentries silently turned their heads away at night. Yu has already read Ernesto stand behind Orion, looking at the densely marked acupuncture points glowing on the scales. The sharp eagle's talons tore through the scales at the marked spot. Nana used a lot of effort. Scales that can't even be pierced. With a light poke under Yi Zhao's eagle-like grasp. It's just a small hole. Instantly, the scales were pierced with numerous small holes. A lot of blood has been shed. But his brows didn't even twitch once. But just looking at it feels painful. Nana thought about drilling holes in her nails. This isn't even grinding yet. It's violently poking a hole. If this were on Earth, this is gonna need anesthesia. Everyone's attention was focused on Orion's back. No one noticed. A little mushroom. Extremely excited. Gather those scales that they've fallen to the ground. And those drops of blood that fell on the ground. He didn't leave a single drop either. 5 minutes later, Yi Zhao's work is done. All marked positions in the scales. He used his eagle claw to poke small holes. Inevitable. Some small holes had blood seeping out. Nana took over the following tasks. She didn't start the acupuncture right away. Instead, he brought gauze and saline solution. Gauze soaked in saline solution was used to wipe away the bloodstains. No alcohol was used for cleaning. Because of the current situation. If using alcohol, just thinking Gabbit scares me. She would ease up on the pressure when wiping the spot that was bleeding. Yi Zhao showed considerable restraint in his actions. Most places just scratched the surface. The skin and flesh beneath scales weren't badly hurt. Gauze soaked in saline solution. The moment it touched the wound, she clearly felt the muscles under the palm twitched slightly. Does it hurt a lot? Nana asked. No. Orion just shook his head and replied softly. Nana still wants to keep going. But of all times, it had to be now. Another annoying voice reached his ears. Nana laughed and said, "We Sentinels shave incredible recovery abilities. Such a small wound will heal before tomorrow." Yi Zhao smirked mischievously. Hearing this, Nana half-believingly let out a sigh of relief. But this wound with shattered scales looks painful as hell. Hurry up and recover. And suffer a little less. Clean the wound properly. Next comes the acupuncture. The intro was probably a bit too long. Yi Zhao kept cracking jokes from time to time. The muscles on Morian's back. It's not as tense as when the clothes first came off. The entire acupuncture process went relatively smoothly. But Nana also felt the effects from the acupuncture sessions yesterday and today. Found some clues. The muscle density off these sentinels, that's a bit higher than Earth's humans. Yesterday was the first time using the new acupuncture needles. It doesn't feel that obvious yet. Today, when inserting the sterilized filiform needle, she clearly felt some resistance. The needle tip is already worn out. After all, it's a one-time thing. By the feel of it, she could roughly tell. These fine needles can only be used once or twice more before they're no longer usable. Otherwise, there's a risk of it breaking inside the body. The needle is lost. It's time for the bloodletting. Morian seemed to know all along. Give your hand to Nana. Nana held the back of his hand. It's gonna hurt a bit. I'm not afraid of pain. Morian looked dead serious. Nana simply smiled faintly. His hands kept moving without pause. Quick disinfection spot check. Dark blood drips onto the ground. In Nana's peripheral vision, I caught a glimpse of the little mushroom waiting on the side. She pursed her lips and averted her gaze. Pretend not to see it and keep bleeding them dry. The acupuncture session ended as all the fine needles were removed from Morian's body. Ask him how he feels. But in my line of sight, I suddenly saw an unbelievable scene. Originally, Morian's neck and face, crawling with streaks of snake-like patterns and scales. At this moment, the snake patterns and scales, it is fading away at a slow pace, as if someone took an eraser brush. Little by little, wipe away the patterns and scales on his face. Morian's tightly shut eyes open, straight ahead. Nana stared straight at him. The scales on your face. Nana spoke up. Morian already felt the scales on his face receding. The surrounding crowd gasped in unison. Yesterday, Nana gave Qi Zhaoan the other to acupuncture. Although all three said they felt fine. The headache situation has improved a lot. But that's just their side of the story. Others can't tell just by looking. But today, Morian's situation is different. A long time ago, Morian pollution level 93. The skin on the face is showing symptoms of spiritual manifestation. This kind of state, he's actually not far from completelising his mind and going berserk. No one could have expected. Just a session of acupuncture. Just half an hour. The symptoms of spiritual impotent on Morian's face. It actually started to subside right away. What does this mean? They didn't dare to speculate too outrageous a direction. Has Morian's pollution level decreased? There are no conditions for testing here. But at least Nana the guide's acupuncture session. The effect. It's comparable to injecting a powerful suppressor. At this moment, Morian's voice came through, barely concealing his excitement. Nana guide. I'm feeling really great right now. It's like getting injected with several doses of strong suppressants. As he spoke, he shook his head again. Taking inhibitor injections isn't that easy. My mental landscape. It's been a long time since I've felt this relaxed. Hearing this, Nana laughed. Nana smiled and said, "Thank you. My life was saved by you. If anything comes up in the future, just tell me directly. Absolutely no refusal." After speaking, Morian's eyes were filled with sincerity. Nana smiled and agreed. At this moment, Morian was just about to get up, but was immediately surrounded by a group of sentinels. Ask him how he's feeling now. Nana only smiled and glanced for a brief moment before looking away. But her work for today isn't over yet. This time, the second sentry had already walked up to her. The person coming was a sentinel nearly 2 meters tall. They all call him Rui Shi. Although Rui Shi's spiritual form is a mighty rhinoceros, but its pollution level is shockingly high at 91. Ruishi looks quite shy. But there was a horn on his nose, skin on the face. Some parts have also turned into light gray keratin. So this is also a case of psychosomatic manifestation. And the symptoms are quite severe for the sentinel. Nana nodded with a smile. Ruishi sat down. Following Marine's previous example. Rest your arm flat on the stone. Through a preliminary diagnosis, Nana also had some understanding of Ruishi's situation. Just like Morion before. The symptoms of his skin turning into a spiritual entity are much more severe on his body than on his face. Nana thought for a moment. Take out a 3-edged needling, try to prick with it. On Ruishi's back, where the spiritual entity manifested physically. No surprise. Her acupuncture needle couldn't even scratch the surface. So Nana's gaze once again turned toward Yi Zhao. Yi Zhao extended his harp eagle claws. Only Nana slightly furrowed her brows. Whenever Yi Zhao swiftly uses his eagle claws, a small wound opens in Ruishi's skin. When the blood beads welled up, she instinctively felt pain for Ruishi. But this time, the acupuncture didn't go smoothly. It's not that Ruishi's muscles are too hard, but the healing was too fast. Nana didn't have time to react. All I heard was a sharp snap from the acupuncture needle in my hand. It actually broke. Yi Zhao next to him had a look of utter disbelief on his face. This wound is healing way too fast. The sentinel has sharp senses. Even if Ruishi can't see what's behind. I also know what happened. He touched it. Say it's okay to poke one more time. Nana looked helpless. Not for now. I'll try using tweezers to pry open the old wound. This process might be quite painful. Bear with it. After saying that, Nana took out a pair of needle nose pliers. The curved tweezers a rarity to probe into the wound. At this moment, little mushroom squeezed his way up to her. A hypha stretches out, standing straight as a needle. They keep poking and prodding, trying to dig into the tiniest wounds. She chuckled and bruised the little mushroom away. What a greedy little bloodsucker. She ignored the bouncing little mushroom again. Use the pointed curved tweezers to gently poke the sharp end into the wound. Then spread the tweezers apart. Let the tweezers tip pry open the tough outer skin, revealing the tender flesh inside. You can imagine the pain involved. But Ruishi didn't make a single sound. Nana didn't control the strength properly. When you're in too deep, the surrounding muscles and skin, you can faintly see some stress-induced twitching. No surprise. This is the toughest acupuncturation Nana has ever had. Half an hour ago. We're basically at the wrapping up stage now. But now, half an hour has passed. Only half of the acupuncture points have been needled so far. She lifted her gaze and glanced at Ruishi's profile. Tiny beads of sweat are faintly visible. It should be painful. After thinking for a moment, she asked, "Can you still hold on?" Ruishi turned her head to look. Laughing, "I'm fine. This pain is nothing." "Nana, are you tired? Do you want to take a break? I can do it too." Looking at Ruishi's expression, it didn't seem forced. Nana chose to continue with the injections. Better a short pain than a long one. 1 hour later, the competition is finally over. Nana let out a long sigh of relief. This acupuncture session, it could almost be considered the highlight of her medical career. The toughest one yet. The following bloodletting will be much simpler. The little mushroom persistently stood guard by the side. Not a single drop of blood that falls to the ground is spared. Ruishi's acupuncturation is finally over. The moment all the fine needles were pulled out of his body, he was visibly changing at a rapid pace. The horn growing on the bridge of the nose gradually shrank. And there were faint gray rhinoceros skin patterns on the face, fading away. Ruishi looked at Nana. His gleaming eyes seemed to twinkle with stars. Nana laughed and said, "I feel amazing. Unprecedentedly good. Better than the state after being injected with the strong inhibitor." Even he felt His pollution level shave probably all dropped. Loyal and simple-minded sentry. Nor did they forget the part about pledging loyalty. Nana smiled and accepted the gratitude. Not just Rui, she. The soldiers who had gathered around to witness these 2 acupuncture sessions. The gazes falling upon Nana were filled with gratitude. Although Nana didn't give them acupuncture. But Nana brought them hope. They are the Sentinels of high pollution levels. They're just a bunch of abandoned expendables. From the day their pollution levels exceeded 70, there was no longer any such thing as hope in their lives. But today, they seem to have encountered this guide by chance in the middle of nowhere. Hope has been seen once again. Nana's busy period has finally come to an end. Meanwhile, Yan Lu was in another secluded spot. Found Orion Shen. The happiest thing for male sentinels in the world. It's about making women prick themselves with needles until they become like hedgehogs. Even if it means being stabbed until blood flows freely. Also have to kneel on the ground to express gratitude. Because only then will they not lose their minds. Turned into a fierce-seemed, brutal monster. And at this moment, strategist Liu Yan was staring at Orion Shen in front of him. His eyes were completely bloodshot. His face was still covered in dark red streaks. It feels like he's about to lose his mind and go berserk any second. Military advisor Liu Yan immediately felt his heart clench. Marshal, your situation can't be delayed any longer. Go to Nana's guide for acupuncture. But Orion Shen did not agree. Just shook his head. Speaking of Liu Yin, my situation is something you're well aware of. It's not just the issue of excessively high pollution levels. Every single cell in my body, even every strand of genes is rapidly collapsing. Better to die in pain. Might as well get shot after losing control and going berserk. It turns out he had already made his choice in his heart. At this moment, Nana was completely unaware. Still simmering snake soup by the earthen stove. A pot of snake soup had been boiled by her into a thick, milky white broth. The domineering aroma wafted all around. The sentries were already so intoxicated by the fragrance that they lost all sense of direction. The only fly in the ointment is the lack of seasoning. But it can be said, this is also the most delicious food in the world. Nana started ladling the soup. The soup bowl is made from thicker bamboo. Yi Zhao and the other 3 took the bamboo tubes filled with snake soup from Nana. Smelling that rich, almost overpowering fragrance. All 4 of them had intoxicant expressions on their faces. Couldn't even wait for it to cool down. Kiki took a big slurp of the broth from the bamboo tube. The moment the tongasu touched my lips, the delicious flavor instantly exploded on their tongues. That taste is simply beyond words. At this moment, Nana was also holding a bamboo tube and drinking soup. Just as she had thought. Even without adding any seasoning. The original flavor of snake soup is also incredibly delicious. The sentinels who followed the scent, instantly mesmerized by its intoxicating fragrance, drooling all over the place. At this moment, Qi Zhao and Liu Yan also walked over from a distance. When they saw the situation clearly, Qi Zhao's eyes instantly widened in shock. But unexpectedly, Yi Zhao cut in first and took over the conversation. I'm telling you. We're eating the medicinaliasin prepared by Guide Nana. Hearing this, both Yan Lu and the sentry next to him were completely dumbfounded. They don't understand. But just hearing the name makes it sound impressive. Looking at their completely clueless expressions, Nana smiled and asked, "Do you guys want to eat together? There's still quite a bit of snake meat soup left in the pot. So many people. If everyone buying full is impossible. But you can still give it a try." Really? Nana laughed. Can we also have a taste? Sentinel Meng, who swallowed a mouthful of saliva, asked with eyes full of anticipation. Of course, every omnipresent gets a share. Mengu was instantly over the moon. The sentries are very self-disciplined. Everyone took a small sip. Though it's just a small bite. But for those who grew up eating nutrient pills, where have I ever tasted something like this? Delicious flavor. It also includes the strategist Yan Lu here. He could barely maintain his composure. After finishing a bowl of snake soup, the sentinels all had looks of lingering dissatisfaction on their faces. They don't even care about their own image. He even picked up the big pot and licked it clean. In an instant, the sentinels felt nothing but. Miss Guide wasn't as aloof as they had imagined. On the contrary, Miss Contrary Guide is actually very approachable. Suddenly, Yan Lu. It seems like something came to mind. Stammering, Nana, the guide said. There's something I'd like to ask for your help with. A lot of our supplies, none could be rescued from the exploding aircraft. Even if we ration our remaining nutrient pills to the extreme, at most, it can probably only last 6 or 7 days. So I'm asking wide Nana for help. Help us survive on this barren planet. Looking for something to eat? At this moment, Dear Eyes looked at Nana with a pleading gaze. Hearing this, Nana laughed. He readily agreed. In the afternoon, Nana also treated several heavily polluted sentinels. Their pollution levels are all very high. But they're all very handsome. Some of them look like characters straight out of an anime. The subsequent treatment process went quite smoothly. After the treatment, they have all undergone astonishing changes. Some even have snow-white hair. It all turned pitch black. I feel as light as I've been completely reborn. They all knelt down and one knee together, declaring loyalty to Nana. But through the entire process, the busiest one seems to be her little mushroom, jumping here and hopping there. Not collecting scales, just reach out. The Mycelium, licking the blood that dripped onto the ground. Instantly, Nana rolled her eyes. How the hell did she give birth to such a thing? At this moment, the sky was gradually darkening. Nana finished a day of therapy work. But she was surprised to find there are only a few sets of filiform needles left. Even if we try to save as much as possible, it probably won't last more than 1 or 2 uses. But there are still so many high pollution value sentinels waiting to be treated. She couldn't just stand by and watch them suffer from illness. What should I do? Nana was instantly plunged into confusion. At this moment, Yan Lu and Kixio had already walked up to her. Nana laughed. I've refined some pretty fine needles here. See if it can be used for acupuncture. This is what they polished from the debris of the flying craft explosion. But when Nana saw what was in their hands, she froze instantly. It's more like a needle than anything else. More like a nail. Using this thing to treat the sentinels, it's more like torturing them. Poke it, and it'll definitely leave a hole. What's the point of even talking about treatment? Nana suddenly spoke up. This needle is way too thick to use. At this moment, the expressions of Yan Lu and Qi Zhao instantly turned to frustration. Stammering, he said that. Let's try to refine a bit more. Nana didn't stop her. Because she didn't really have high hopes to begin with. This millimeter level precision craftsmanship. All are meticulously polished by precision grade machines, just relying on manual labor. 2. Suddenly, Nana thought off scene from this morning. Her little mushroom wants to straighten its mycelium, instead of inserting fine needles into acupoints. I was stopped by her at the time. We are now facing a severe situation. She had to seriously think it over. The possibility of using mycelium from small mushrooms as a substitute for fine needles. The next day, Nana woke up bright and early. Because today is a somewhat special day. She made plans with Ian Lu yesterday. Today, I'm going to follow the sentries around the area for a bit. Looking for some food to eat. She quickly entered the wooden house. He took out a thin paracord from his backpack. The bamboo rat that was kept outside the bamboo hut and starved for a day and 2 nights. Tied up like walking a dog. Just like that, she held onto the rope. Walking 2 bamboo rats. Arriving at the spot where the sentries were lined up. Instantly, all the sentries' gazes fell upon him. On the 2 bamboo rats was leading by a leash. Nana laughed. You really know how to have fun. Yan Lu pointed at the 2 bamboo rats and spoke with a smile. And Nana just smiled mysteriously. Later, when we look for food, these two little ones are real go-getters. Hearing this, Yan Lu showed a surprised expression. The first team of Sentinels also had the same look of astonishment. Nana is acting very mysteriously. Under her arrangements, their two teams quickly disappeared into the forest. At this moment, Nana was riding Kixio's spiritual entity, the wild boar, walking swiftly alongside its sentinel formation. Before long, the group arrived near the hot springs. Nana jumped down from wild boar's back, put the two bamboo rats on the ground. As soon as the bamboo rat hit the ground, it started sniffing around. Nana just followed behind the bamboo rat, walking slowly. A line of sentries followed behind, their heads full of questions. The two bamboo rats walked for a while, suddenly stopped, staring at a blue flower that resembles a dandelion. After sniffing for a while, the two bamboo rats started eating the leaves of this mutated dandelion. Nana laughed when she saw that. She pulled the bamboo rat away. Let the deer idone next to you lead. Then he squatted down himself. Dig up this dandelion-like plant by the roots. This plant, apart from the color of its flowers, the rest is almost exactly the same as a dandelion. Nana laughed. Can you eat this grass? Yellow asked with a puzzled expression. It should be edible. As she spoke, Nana picked up another dandelion-like plant, put it right in front of the bamboo rat's mouth. Watching the bamboo radiate with great relish, she finally let out a relieved sigh. And the sentries all around. Yet he looked at this scene with a face full of confusion. Nana held the fresh-picked dandelion in her hand. Held in the palm of the hand. Show it to the sentries around. All of you, take a look at this plant. I'll dig out this plant as soon as I see it. Let's try the food at noon. And this is also a traditional kind of medicine that serves as both food and medicine. Clear heat and detoxify. Reduce swelling and dissipate nodules. Digging it up but can't finish eating it all. Can be dried for later use. Just in case. The Sentinels received their mission. Immediately on the surrounding grass. Tracing the footsteps of dandelions, Nana also continued to search for edible wild vegetables while walking the bamboo rat. After the dandelion, the bamboo rat quickly found it again. The second type of edible wild plant. It's a type of wild grass that looks like fern shoots. The patterns of the meridians are just slightly deeper. The fern I saw with Nana on Earth, slightly different. Nana followed suit. Pick some tender stems and leaf buds from the mutated fern. Put it right in front of the bamboo rat's mouth. Watching the bamboo rat eat it, she was the one heckled for the sentry. Tell them this is also an edible wild vegetable. She was walking her bamboo rat. One after another, several types of edible wild vegetables were found. Without exception, it's similar to some plants on Earth. There are places that are strikingly similar. Although there may be mutations, but experiments with bamboo rats have proven that still edible. Soon after, Nana found a very large shepherd's purse. The shape is exactly the same as shepherd's purse on Blue Star, but its size is at least 3 times larger than the shepherd's purse on Blue Star. She directly plucked off a piece of shepherd's purse leaf, put it near the bamboo rat's mouth. As expected, the bamboo rat ate it. So this mutated shepherd's purse is still edible. Nana is a bit happy. Not just because shepherd's purse is her favorite wild vegetable, and because of the mutated wild vegetables, most of them can still eat. And now, the Sentinels are very efficient at digging up wild vegetables. Not too long a time. Everyone dug up quite a bit of wild vegetables. That's really great. Even if this is a barren planet. Even if all the nutritional supum are used up. As long as these foods are here, they won't starve to death either. Casually supper over 20 of them. No problem at all. They were just about to head back to the city, but found 2 bamboorats pulling on the leash. He dashed into a thick patch of grass ahead. Nana followed to check. The moment he parted the grass, he froze. It turned out to be a huge patch of wild garlic. At this moment, the bamboo rat was happily munching on wild garlic leaves. Seeing this, a hint of joy appeared on Nana's face. Although wild garlic is almost completely ignored on Blue Star. But actually, this is a very good wild vegetable for enhancing flavor and aroma. When out in the wild without any seasonings, spread some wild garlic paste on the food. It can effectively enhance the aroma and flavor. He immediately crouched down and started pulling up wild garlic. 10 minutes later, Nana was holding a huge bunch of wild garlic. Gather with the sentinels on the open ground near the hot springs. Almost every sentinel returned with a full load. Probably because the harvest was quite bountiful. On the way back to the city, every sentinel was in high spirits about what to eat for lunch. These freshly picked foods, full of anticipation. When Nana, fully focused on gathering, returned to the bamboo hut with the sentinel. The other team of hunting sentinels has also returned. Almost all of the sentinels' prey are snakes, 3 per person and up. At this moment, Qi Zhao ran over to Yi Zhao Heil carrying a huge pot. All for Sentinels need Nana's orders. Then they started building a dirt stove. Soon, the earthen stove was built. The pot has iodine put on the stove. The other sentinels cleaned the gammon and threw it straight into the pot. Nana crushed the cleaned wild garlic into a paste. Marinate with thick-upped bamboo rat meat. The fattier and leaner parts are used to render oil. Nana put the bamboo rat's fat into the pot. There was an immediate tesselating sound of scorching. Soon enough, a small pool of oil had been rendered in the pan. The fragrance wafted in all directions. After being busy for a while, Nana officially announced it's time to eat. Each sentinel holds a bamboo tube and lines up to scoop the soup. The 4 dishes made by Nana were placed in the center. A standard meal of 4 dishes and 1 soup. Everyone held bamboo tubes and gathered in a circle to start eating. Without a doubt, every face was beaming with a happy smile. Some even kneel before them. On the ground, crying tears of excitement, saying this moment is the happiest time of their lives. And in another place, Yan Lu carried 2 bamboo tubes and found Orion Shen, the spiritual entity on Orion Shen's body. The symptoms of somatization are more severe. It's just that he still stubbornly clings to reason. Far away, he seems to have caught a whiff of something strange. Orion Shen looked at Yan Lu. A look of utter shock. This is untested food, you know. And Yan Lu smiled and said to, it's untested food. You've never had any contact with guide Nana. Might not know. Nana's guide is exceptionally knowledgeable. His medicinal hasn't the herbs he found. It can still keep you sentinels from biting the dust. In this dissolitudeness of the heart, Orion Shen listened quietly. His thoughts were in turmoil. I remembered that girl who seemed to glow in the sunset. Seeing Orion Shen remain motionless, Yan Lu pushed the food toward him. Hurry up and try it. Those little brats are going crazy over it. Grabbing this food for you wasn't easy. Orion Shen finally picked up the chopsticks. The golden brown fried bamboo meat was placed into the mouth. His expressionity froze. An indescribable taste bloomed in his mouth. Eat a piece. He couldn't help but go for a second and then a third piece. Soon, the small amount of bamboo meat was all eaten by him. He tried the freed shepherd's purse again. In the next instant, his eyes widened. Can't believe it. Absolutely delicious. He thought the taste of wild grass was bitter. But what kind of taste is this blooms in his mouth? Then he tried the freed crispy dough sticks, mustard greens and cold-dressed dandelion greens. Just as delicious. All of them were flavors she had never tried before. Just like that, the 2 bamboo tubes of food brought by Yan Lu. Eaten clean by Orion Shen. Not a single drop of soup was left. Just before leaving, Yan Lu handed an inhibitor to Orion Shen. Orion Shen shook his head. Didn't pick up. Now, already in this sorry state. Such a precious inhibitor. It's a waste to give it to me. Yan Lu insisted on opening the inhibitor. He inhaled through the needle and said, "Nana's acupuncture guide. It's especially effective for stabilizing our pollution levels. Kijar, Orion and Yexio, the three of them. Since the acupuncture day before yesterday until now, there have been no symptoms of excessively high pollution levels, nor have I ever been injected with inhibitors, even if the pollution levels are all above 90 for the Sentinels. Now, there's no need Tao's inhibitors anymore. Can also fully maintain physical and mental stability. So now our inhibitor. Actually, it's not hat tight anymore." Before I could finish speaking, Yan Lu picked up the syringe filled with inhibitors, piercing into Orion Shen's jugular vein. On the other side, after Evriana had a satisfying and delicious meal, Nana was on the go non-stop. They started treating the Sentinel again. But the remaining acupuncture needles in his hand were less than 2 sets. This also means he can only perform acupuncture in 1 sentinel at a time. The first treatment went relatively smoothly. You can heal the second sentry. Near the end, the acupuncture needle actually broke off inside the other person's body. He spent a lot of effort. Just used tweezers to pull out broken acupuncture needle. That was really dangerous. In the evening, Nana found Yanlu and explained the situation. "Are those acupuncture needles completely unusable now?" Yan Lu asked. "It really can't be used anymore. If the needle tip breaks deep inside the muscle, the consequence would be unthinkable." At this moment, Kixio walked over. He placed the needle he had sharpened once more in front of Nana, the way the nail looked when it was pulled up last time. "This meeting has our digotin much smaller. Roughly like the big needle used for quilting back in the Earth era. About the same thickness. But it's still not suitable for acupuncture." Nana put the needle down. He said thoughtfully, "Actually, I have another plan here." As he spoke, he summoned his spiritual entity, the little mushroom. Updated. The little mushroom is Abudo start grinding away at work. Maybe the little mushroom sucked a lot of blood. And there were so many scales for him to munch on like little crackers. The little mushroom looks like it's grown a whole size bigger. It's so sturdy you could almost use it as a stool by just placing it on the ground. And dear eyes. And Kijao saw the little mushroom all grown up. My eyes nearly popped out of my head in surprise. But Nana just smiled faintly. "I think the strategist should be able to replace Hao Zhen. But I need someone to practice on for real." Yan Lu didn't hesitate for a second. "No problem. I can arrange for someone to come over every day to let you try it for real." In the afternoon, Nana's audition officially begins. The first person to test Nana for real was Qi Zhao. Under the envious gazes of the Sentinels, Qi Zhao walked up to Nana with a silly grin on his face. Nana immediately reached out and placed her hand on his wrist, taking the pulse while asking questions. Based on these few sessions of treatment, Qi Zhao's symptoms have improved significantly. And Nana summoned a little mushroom and placed it on her lap. Under his control, the little mushroom's mycelium strands stretched out one by one. He quickly raised his hand and pinched a fungal filament. The flexible mycelium the moment he touched it. He stood up straight as a rod. He was getting used to the feel of the mycelium, groping along the acupuncture on Qi Zhao's spine. Without hesitation, quickly plunged in. Just as he thought, the mushroom's mycelium can easily pierce the skin. In such a short time, more than 10 fungal filaments have already penetrated Qi Zhao's body. And at the same time, he also sensed the thoughts transmitted from little mushroom's side. "Take a deep breath, so refreshing. I really want to take another hit." As for taking a puff of whatever, Nana could only laugh it off. He suppressed the urge of little mushroom to suck blood. While pinching the mycelium, continue inserting the needle till the 30th high pH was inserted. Nana finally stopped what she was doing. Because the little mushroom has a lot of mycelium, but his mental strength has reached its limit. Just at this moment, he actually reached out toward Qi Zhao's head on his own. It seemed like it was about to pierce Qi Zhao's skull the very next second. He quickly raised his hand to brush away the fungal thread. But then there came a sound. The urge to crack open Qi Zhao's head. Or perhaps open up some space in his mind. But in the end, he still held back. At this moment, he placed the little mushroom on the nearby rock, asking Qi Zhao how he's feeling. And Qi Zhao couldn't help but break into a wide smile. It feels so damn good. This answer seems to have greatly boosted Nana's confidence, confirming that Gunzi can be used as a replacement for Hao Zhen. Next up is the real strategist, Yan Lu. But when Nana's hand touched his wrist, he instantly looked utterly shocked. Nana noticed his lips were completely devoid of color. The pollution level is shockingly high at 90. Apart from the pollution levels being too high, he must still have a lot of internal injuries. It's as if these internal wounds have been around for a long time. It hasn't healed yet. If left unchecked, it can cause severe harm to the body. Hearing the surrounding sentinels, their faces all showed expressions of disbelief. Even Yi Zhao asked in surprise, "Guide Nana? Just hold my wrist. You actually noticed. The army division has so many flaws." And Yan Lu looked at Nana with an expression of complete astonishment. Why are these secrets he's been hiding and afraid to speak of? Nana only touched his hand for a brief moment. How do you know even more than he does? This is simply too unbelievable. Facing their astonished expressions, Nana simply smiled calmly. At this moment, Yan Lu has already taken off his jacket, sitting with his back to Nana. Looking at Yan Lu's explosive muscle definition, he almost drooled. You can tell. Even if he's a soldier. Master Shi also possesses astonishing combat prowess. At this moment, Nana was happily playing with little mushroom. Came over to say hello. Holding onto a taut fungal thread, find the right spot. Quick insertion. Having just tried the acupuncture on Qi Zhao, this round of acupuncturists gone much smoother. As time goes by, one after another, the hypha pierced into Yan Lu's body. Yan Lu's expression gradually shifted from its initial calmness, slowly turning into surprise. The pulse diagnosis before this was already enough to surprise him. What surprised him even more was, I was just being a guinea pig for Nana to practice on. The whole body actually is such an amazing feeling. Even the spiritualcia invaded by the virus. It feels a lot more relaxed now. At this moment, Yan Lu slowly closed his eyes, slowly savoring this rare happiness. But the next second, Nana's breathing seemed to become rapid. Because the next 3 acupoints, it's the legendary Achilles heel, Bai Hui point, Fengfu point, and Yamen point. If the needle is inserted too deep or the technique is improper, it can damage brain tissue. It may directly cause paralysis or even be life-threatening. Although this is an adventure, but acupuncture at these 3 acupoints, the effect should be the most obvious. Yan Lu also sensed Nana's nervousness, heartfelt comfort. Nana guide, are you tired? Why don't you take a rest first? I'm fine. But when Nana explained the situation, Yan Lu didn't seem to hesitate in the slightest. Nana, tour guide, don't hesitate. Upon hearing this, Zaba said. Nana didn't hesitate any longer. Gently pressing the mycelium, slowly inserted into the corresponding acupoints. He inserts the needle very slowly, feeling it with great care and attention. The sensation fed back from the mycelium. At this moment, he suddenly discovered a place. The advantage of using mycelium instead of fine needles. His spiritual energy can connect with spiritual entities. You can also clearly feel the depth of the mycelium's needle insertion, and the spot where the needle tip reaches. Nana gently pinched, moving the mycelium. Yan Lu cooled hold back for a moment, gave a soft hum in response, like a jolt of electricity. From other acupuncture points, the energy surges upward. For a brief moment, he felt as if those acupoints had come to life. It feels like soaking your entire body in a hot spring. 20 minutes later, Nana, stop being so petty, can be found in all Mycelium. The moment it was pulled out of Lucyan's body, Lu Yan almost couldn't help but let out a muffled groan. Not a painful groan. He couldn't describe it accurately. I just felt like my entire being was elevated in an instant. It seems even his mental landscape, everything has been completely washed clean. Unprecedented comfort. He even had a vague suspicion his pollution levels have likely genuinely decreased. Otherwise, there wouldn't such an obvious effect. But if it really is as he suspected, a brand new, a method to reduce pollution levels without the need for mental detox. Even this method is effective even for sentinels with high pollution values. If this gets out, he could even imagine it. What kind of earth-shattering waves will it stir up across the entire empire? But this might not be a good thing for Nana. Nana had no idea. Yan Lu thought of Sumik at this moment. Hearing Yan Lu say, "It feels great," he then laughed. At this moment, Yan Lu raised her head, looking at Nana's. His gaze carried a hint of deep serenity. Because among the guides he had met, no guide is as naive as Nana. He is pure-hearted and erudite, helping them without expecting anything in return. This group of highly polluted sentinels, they were just a bunch of abandoned people waiting to die. At this point, Yan Lu was moved to tears. Before long, Yan Lu arrived at the tree hollow where Orion Shen was hiding. After a long while, he barely managed to let out a soft cry. "Orion, just now, the Gidanana gave me acupuncture. How's the result?" Yan Lu suddenly chuckled. "It turned out better than I imagined. There's no instrument here to measure pollution levels, but I suspect my pollution level should be. It's dropped quite a bit." The tree hole remained excellent for a long time. Just then, Orion Shen's voice came through. "This doesn't require any mental sorting. Here are some ways to reduce pollution levels. If word gets out, it will definitely bring danger to our guide, Nana." The two of them realito speak the same language. Yan Lu is just a few heads taller. Orion Shen was on the same page as him. "I'm also considering this matter. Orion, I want to protect him, but I might not be able to do it alone." Early morning the next day, after a night of rain, the grass all around has sprouted many mushrooms. Nana crouched down to take a look. Without exception, they were poisonous mushrooms. It's like after a night of rain. This desolate heart, something unknown is happening. Nana gathered the sentries together, getting ready to gather herbs. He rode Orion's spiritual Black Panther to the gathering site. But just as they were about to move to a new location, Nana was surprised to discover a medicinal herb similar to Ban Langan. But suddenly, a rock came flying straight at Nana's head. He didn't even have time to react. Qi Zhao instantly appeared right in front of him. He used his face to block the stone attack for him. Till this moment, Nana just noticed, not far away, that baby gibbon hanging upside down from the tree branch. And at this moment, Qi Zhao raised his hand. He threw the rock right back at them. A sharp crack. The rock hit the cub right on the forehead. The gibbon cub squealed in pain, and then ran away. None of them took this little incident seriously. Keep digging up the indigo root. Yet no one could have expected that little cub. They actually brought a whole bunch of gibbons to take revenge. In an instant, they were surrounded. Dozens of gibbons blocked their path both in front and behind. What surprised Nana the most was, among this group of gibbons, there are 5 guys with muscles all over their bodies like the Hulk. The Sentinels realized they were surrounded in an instant. All released their spiritual forms in preparation. Facing the enemy, Nana was kept protected right in the center. Both sides stood insolent confrontation. A tiny little gibbon baby. He jumped out with a big swollen bump on his head, pointing at Qi Zhao and screaming at him like crazy. Nana recognized it at a glance. This is the little cub whose head was smashed back by Qi Zhao. The strategist Lu stared at the massive gibbon leading the opposing side. It was your Piapluho provoked first. The giant monkey across the way opened its mouth, growled a few times. All of a sudden, this man, an ape. It was as if they could understand each other's words perfectly. Still in the middle of discussing something, Nana leaned closer to Qi Zhao. He asked Army Master in a low voice, "Can understand the gibbon's roar?" Qi Zhao nodded. The strategist's spiritual form is a silver fox. Understand animal language. Able to communicate with many animal species. Nana looked completely baffled. This damn world. He really broadened his horizons. The gibbons. Everyone was poised and ready to go. A fierce battle seemed inevitable. And Nana asked Kixio in a low voice, "Do we have a good chance of winning if we fight?" Winning is possible, but those 5 mutated gibbons are quite troublesome. Casualties might occur on our side. Nana thought for a moment. I asked, "Look at Thassa gibbons over there. Many of them were injured. Many wounds are still bleeding. Using medicine for treating external injuries. Is it possible to establish diplomatic relations with them?" Hearing this, Kixio was stunned. But we don't have any wound medicine on hand either. In the Interstellar era, medicine is an extremely valuable thing. They didn't bring medicine with them to begin with. Everything was destroyed Tajater when the spaceship crashed. Nana smiled and said, "Yes. Just now, the herb we dug up can stop the bleeding. It can also help wounds heal. The name is Da Ji. I just tried it on the rabbit. The results are pretty good." At this moment, Yexio beside him said, "Nana was conducting an experiment. I was the one who acted as his assistant and held down the rabbit. I saw the smear on the rabbit. When the wound is hemostatic effect. Almost able to catch up. The trauma treatment potion developed by the Academy of Sciences." At that moment, Nana winked at Yin Lu. Seeing this, Luing gave a faint smile. He turned his head and continued negotiation with the giant orangutan. I never expected the following negotiation to go surprisingly smoothly. The gibbons are readito spring into action. It's visibly combing more gentle. Nana ground the leaves and tender stems of the grand festival into a paste. From the deer's eyes to theans of the leading gibbon. Across the way, an Injuregibin is testing the medicine. The gibbon's wound is clearly from a large predator's bite. It looks serious. It's still bleeding non-stop. The other gibbon scooped out a big lump of sticky paste with its hand. Slap it right on the wound. Almost all the thick paste was applied in one go. Soon, the bleeding from the wound stopped. 2 injured gibbons also came to try the medicine. Without exception, the bleeding will stop soon. At this moment, the gibbons stood together chattering away. As if they were communicating something. Nana doesn't understand. But judging from their expressions, they must have been shocked too. Yet he had no idea. The shock wasn't limited to just those gibbons. Even the sentinel shuruging him. Seeing the scene before my eyes, everyone was completely stunned. The originally very expensive hemostatic medicine. Many sentinels can't afford treatment when they're injured. I didn't expect Nana the Gidato casually pick a random weed. Crushed, it actually has an astonishing effect. At this moment, a small gibbon. Timidly, she walked over toward Nana. It's still the same one that threw stones at Nana before. At this moment, he seemed Tobe holding something in his arms. Approaching Nana timidly. He finally spread out the thing she had been shielding in his arms. It turns out to be black hat sending the onion bacteria. Afraid Nana might mistake the mushrooms for being poisonous, the little gibbon also picked up a chicken mushroom. He popped it straight into his mouth and started chewing it raw. It seems to be hinting to Nana that what he sent over is delicious. Nana also saw through it. This little gibbon seems to have come to apologize. At this moment, Nana smiled and said, "All right then. Then I'll take chicken with truffles. I forgive you for hitting with a rock before. But I won't tack your stuff for free. Come here." Let me take a look at the swollen bumps on your arms and body. The little gibbon seems to understand Nana's words, timidly walking up to Nana, then crooking down to sit beside her. Nana tentatively pulled over the little gibbon's arm to check. The little gibbonus very obedient. His arm is visibly bruised. All over are red, swollen bumps, big and small. Probably some venomous critters like centipedes or bees. Some spots have aurodibine scratched raw. Some are still oozing yellow pus. At this moment, Nana stood up. A handful of purslane was taken out of Kijiao's backpack. Smash it again with a rock. Little by little. Apply to the inflamed and swollen area of the small intestine where the opening is closed. At first, Xi Chung Bu Yuendent seemed to take it seriously. But as Nana applied it on, Zhao Chang's closed eyes grew brighter and brighter, brighter and brighter. So amazing. Just a split second. Those damn pimples actually stopped itching. Right after that, the little gibbon dished off like a streak of smoke. Running up next to a giant gibbon, babbling and gesturing at giant gibbon like crazy. After a while longer, that giant gibbon, he actually walked over to Nana's side. Yan Lu saw this. Instantly appeared by Nana's side, half blocking his way. At this moment, that gibbon, he took off a pendant hanging around his neck. Grandma Tao handed it over. Grandma froze in place. Yan Lu tilted her head slightly while holding it. Just now, this gibbon said, "This is the token off their tribe. Only for the most distinguished guests. You can bring the pendant with you next time. They will do something for you unconditionally." Even Grandma was shocked. These gibbons' intelligence. It truly caught him off guard. Even something like a token of love. They all had a group of people leave when the time came. The entire gibbon clan gave them a warm send-off. Yan Lu smiled and relayed the gibbon's words. They said they will be us to come over any time. You're especially welcome. Nana guide. On the way back, Shu was in an excellent mood. Riding on the back of a black panther. Playing with the letter received from the giant gibbon. This looks like a giant gibbon's tooth. Even if it's just a tooth. But it was also the first gift received after crossing over. Thinking to myself that I should keep it safe and treasured. But suddenly a mournful cry rang out. He felt very depressed and couldn't make out anything. But the sentries all around. But one by one, their expressions changed in an instant. Someone is about to go berserk. Hurry up and go back. The sentries abruptly abandoned their previous sluggish demeanor. One by one, they started sprinting faster, including the Black Panther carrying them. Everyone started to speed up. Who the hell is this berserk sentinel? The sentinels never even dreamed of it. A heavy rain last night. It actually caused a complete upheaval in the entire forest. It seems that every species has evolved. They were severely injured in the battle against mutated beasts, which leads to an increase in their contamination levels. Also rising rapidly. Just when they were about to give up, Orion Shen arrived just in time to save them. But the most polluted sentinel, Zhang Feng, couldn't hold on. He was on the verge of going completely berserk. When Nana and the others came back, what I saw was a bunch of pathetic losers. The sentinels covered in blood. There's also a sentinel on the verge of going berserk right next to it. At this moment, but was tightly bound by a blood-red vine. And that sentinel on the verge of going berserk. The body is already covered in white feathered scales. Its mouth even let out mournful cries, characteristic of a bird. But Yan Lu walked up to him. He took out a remote control from his pocket, gently pressed down. Accompanied by a few cracking sounds of shattering. The inhibitor collar on Jiangfeng's neck activated instantly. Immediately, large dose of anesthetic was injected into his body. A few breaths later, Zhang Feng collapsed limply to the ground. And at last, the creeping vine loosened its bindings. Nana stared blankly the whole time. This was the first time he saw it. The scene when the Sentinel is about to go berserk. All the sentinels watch the scene with aching hearts. They look sad. Form a circle, silently watching Zhang Feng unconscious in the middle. They all gave him a fist-to-chest salute in unison. They're here to bid farewell to Zhang Feng. The moment the ceremony concluded, Yan Lu walked towards Jiang Feng at the center of the circle. He crouched down. Looking at Zhang Feng, forced out a sorrowful smile. "Brother, rest in peace." As soon as the words were spoken, he suddenly pulled out a dagger from his waist, slashed toward Jiang Feng's neck. At this moment, Nana's horrified voice rang out. Wait, hurried over in a hurry. "Yan Lu, what are you doing? Why kill him?" Yan Lu shook his head helplessly. He no longer has a shred of human reason left. And death. It was the final experience for every berserk sentinel. The surrounding sentinels stood in silence. Obviously, they all agreed with Yan Lu's point. The words were barely out of his mouth. Yan Lu raised his arm once again. The hand holding the knife swept toward Zhang Feng's neck. Seeing this, Nana grabbed Yan Lu's hand tightly, voice trembling. "Doctor, can you let me see how he's doing now? Maybe there's still hope." Yet Yan Lu didn't pay it any mind. Because he knew. The berserk sentinel has completely lost all reason. Maybe. He originally intended to carry out the next act of elimination. Meeting Nana's bright and unwavering gaze, a faint glimmer of hope suddenly arose in his heart. Because right before his eyes, this guide is different. Different from everyone else. He is knowledgeable and talented. Created one miracle after another. Maybe he can really do it. Alright then, you can. Give it a try. But you only have 8 minutes. Time's up. There's nothing I can do. Nana nodded in agreement. He took a deep breath and gripped Zhang Feng's wrist. I just wanted to kick his pulse. But the entire wrist had already completely turned to feathers. There isn't a single patch of intact skin to be seen. And Nana couldn't be bothered to care about all that. He tore open the clothes on his body. The long-worn and tattered combat suit. However, the combat suit was torn open. What was revealed was not a human body, but a single white scale feather. Not a single inch of skin is visible. In this situation, there's simply no way to use acupuncture. What should we do next? At this moment, Nana took several deep breaths in a row. He tried hard to suppress the anxiety in his heart. Suddenly, with a single thought, the little mushroom was instantly summoned. Under the control of his psychic power, the strands of Mycelium seemed to possess a will of their own. Quickly dashing into pouring rain, and groped over the rain-soaked skin, relying solely on intuition to locate the acupressure points. One by one, the hyphae pierced through. In the blink of an eye, only the last 3 fatal points remain. The Bai Hui Q point located at the top of the head, as well as the Fengfu point and Yamen point located at the neck. But these 3 acupuncture points carry enormous risks. If it were any other time, even if the patient still has the slight bit of consciousness, they would still ask. With his permission. But now, the situation is urgent. Nana didn't have to think too much. The taut mycelium transforms into the form of fine needles. With a pft sound, the needle simultaneously pierced these 3 acupoints. At this point, all 29 acupuncture points have been successfully needled. At this moment, the spiritual feathers on Zhang Feng's body seem to have undergone some changes, although it has subsided somewhat. But it quickly grew back again. Nana's pupils instantly dilated in shock. Not enough, it seems. Just this level of acupuncture. I'm afraid we can't save Zhang Feng. But time was slipping away bit by bit. But he was drenched in sweat. Looking at Zhang Feng's increasingly mutated body, Nana hardened her heart. The mental energy barged straight in through the mycelium. And the next second, he felt as if he had overcome countless obstacles. When opening one's eyes, we have arrived amidst towering cliffs and steep precipices. But the cliff was collapsing at an extremely rapid pace. Not far away, A snow-white crane collapsed on the platform to one side. He looks like he's already stopped breathing. Suddenly, Nana seemed to understand everything in an instant. This is Zhang Feng's mental landscape. And this crane is Princess Lijiang Feng's spiritual entity. Nana immediately rushed to the crane's side. At that moment, and the little mushroom next to him, she also came bouncing along. In his line of sight, the crane before me looked lifeless except for its lack of vitality. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. And in little mushroom's line of sight, but a layer of black smoke enveloped the crane's entire body. Suddenly, it seemed, he understood the true meaning of pollution levels. At this moment, little mushroom cautiously extended its mycelium, riding on the crane's back. He tried. Let the mycelium absorb the full energy clinging to the immortal crane, and the little mushroom was as refreshed as if it had drunk an iced beverage. A chilling sensation came over me. A very strange egg. Not uncomfortable. Actually quite refreshing. So Nana controlled the mycelium. Took another puff. One more bite. Then another bite. The little mushroom seems to have tasted the sweetness too. Gurgling to myself, like drinking bubble tea. Riding on the crane, he soared into the sky. And Nana has been keeping an eye on little mushroom's condition all along. As time slowly passes by, the little mushroom's condition is getting better and better. Through little mushroom's perspective, Nana saw the foul energy clinging to the immortal crane's body. A lot has already been absorbed. The crane suddenly moved a little. He seems to want to lift his head. But in the end, he didn't succeed. In just a few breaths' time, he slowly opened his eyes, watching Nana and little mushroom. The crane blinked its eyes. Can't seem to believe what I'm seeing. All of this. Misguide actually entered his mental landscape. And what he didn't know was, he got himself soaked in the rain. It's dissipating at a speed visible to the naked eye. And at this moment, the sentinels on the wasteland were also stunned on the spot. Because in the story of the Empire, there has never been a berserk sentinel. There have been precedents of people being rescued. How is this possible? At this moment, Yi Zhao spoke in an almost trembling voice. Zhang Feng seems to be getting better. The sentries all clenched their fists one by one. The obsession in my heart grows even more fervent. But 8 minutes had passed. Nana, however, did not emerge from her state of mental distress. Wake up right now. The scales and feathers on Zhang Feng's face had completely faded away. A handsome face was revealed. The scales and feathers on his neck and body were still fading away. It's like someone is slowly erasing it with a rubber, bit by bit. Gradually, human skin began to show through. The sentries all around held their breath. At this moment, they vaguely sensed it. They are very likely to witness the birth of a miracle. Inside Zhang Feng's mental landscape, as the sticky black aura clung to the crane's body, absorbed by the little mushroom, the cliff gradually stopped collapsing. The crane also seemed to regain some strength. He quietly rubbed his neck against little mushroom's mycelium. Then, very cautiously, it rubbed its head against his umbrella cap again. Looking at the crane's cautious demeanor, Nana laughed. He reached out and rough-led the crane's head directly. The crane widened its eyes in flattered surprise. That lively and adorable look. Watching Nana and Caldent hold back, she gently pinched the rosy glow atop his head again. Who would have thought that just this casual pinch just had to go and mess things up? The originally ethereal and graceful crane suddenly shuddered. The soft feathers instantly puffed up. Then it gently trembled and drew back, returned to its original state. At this moment, the crane stood up and used. He gently nuzzled his head against Nana. Seems to be expressing gratitude. A moment later, he squatted down again. Invite him and little mushroom to climb onto his back. Nana accepted the invitation. The little mushroom hopped and skipped onto the crane's back. Nana also climbed on. The crane raises its head and cries out, making sounds of pleasure. Then it flapped its wings and soared straight into the sky. Just like that, one person, one crane, and a little mushroom played around in the mental landscape for quite a while. At this moment, Nana suddenly said, "I should go." Hearing this, the crane lowered its head. "Seems a bit down." Nana smiled. "Go on, when you come out off mental landscape later, remember to hang out with me." The moment I heard this, the crane raised its head. Beautiful eyes, as if the stars were flickering in an instant. Nana closed her eyes. Retract the psychic energy. The next instant, his true self opened his eyes. "Nana," the guide woke up. "Nana guide, are you okay?" The voices of the concerned sentinels reached his ears. Nana turned her head, took a glance. The sentries, who had previously formed a circle, still standing in the same spot. Not a single one left. Right now, their eyes were filled with worry and concern as they looked at him. "I'm fine just now. I think I've suddenly figured out the gist of mental organization." At this moment, Nana is controlling the little mushroom. In an instant, all the mycelium was retracted. At this moment, Jiangfeng also woke up. He slowly got up, remembering the scene that took place in his mental landscape. Her originally fair cheeks gradually flushed with a hint of red. But Nana hurried asked Jiangfeng, "How are you feeling now?" Jiangfeng immediately showed a smile on his face, feeling fantastic. "My pollution level should have dropped below 50. As soon as these words were spoken, the surrounding sentry's pupils dilated in shock, a face full of disbelief. So this is what real mental detox feels like. Amidst the envious gaze of all the sentinels, Zhang Feng continued, "Nana guide, wait to leave this desolate heart. When you start selecting the guide escort team, if my qualifications meet the requirements, can you also pick me for your guard team?" Zhang Feng asked with hopeful eyes. Other sentinels, raising this question is more likely just a flight of fancy. It's a beautiful wish. But this matter is different when it comes to him. His pollution levels might actually meet the requirements. Nana nodded in agreement without much hesitation. These days, Nana has thought it through very clearly. If we really can't go back to Lanshin, to stay and live in this starry expanse, and if there really was a to choose the guide escort team, here with him through thick and thin is the sentinel. Undoubtedly, these are all good choices. At this moment, Nana also stood up and glanced around. Only then did he realize that many of sentinels were still carrying injuries. Some people's wounds haven't even stopped bleeding yet. After helping them treat their wounds, the sky was gradually darkening. But suddenly, he heard a faint buzzing sound in his ears. He lifted his gaze and followed the sound. I actually saw a mosquito as big as a hornet, flying back and forth right in front of him. Nana was suddenly startled. Upon closer inspection, I realized this is a Mutated albopictus. His head is even bigger than a spotted mosquito on Blue Star, more than twice as big. If you get stung by this, I don't know what will happen. Not just Nana's side. Not far away, the sentinels who were sprawled out under the twilight sky also freaked the hell out. Nana faintly heard. There's the sound of someone swearing from the direction where the sentinels were camping came. At this moment, Kijao, Yexio, and Orion, the three of them. He also hurriedly signaled towards Nana's side. "Nana guide, we're here to help you get rid of the mosquitoes. This mutated T-germ mosquito is seriously nasty. If you get stung, it'll take at least half a month to recover." At this moment, the three sentries were each holding a large leaf, fanning Nana from all directions. Leave no stone unturned, not letting a single one slip through. The mosquito had a chanchetto get close to Nana. He was a bit moved. But soon, she was amused again by the trio's antics. "Is there someone among you who got bitten?" "We're fine. We are the sentinels." "He has a strong constitution. Getting bitten a few times doesn't matter." But Nana, the guide, was different. Weak constitution. I can't stand these hoogie mosquito bites at all. They've even divided the work among themselves. Take turns keeping watch at night, driving away Nana's guide. Absolutely must not let them get bitten by a mosquito. And Nana. He then walked toward the spot where medicinal herbs were drying in the sun. The 3 sentries were fanning themselves, keeping up with Nana's pace. At this moment, Yi Zhao saw what was happening, as if something came to mind. Looking utterly astonished. Can herbs really be used to repel mosquitoes? Of course, herbs have many uses. I'll tell you all about it slowly, when I get the chance. Arrived at the place where the herbs were drying, Nana picked up a mugwort plant and a mint plant. He shook it at Kixio and the other 2. Both of these herbs have the effect of repelling mosquitoes and insects. Mix in a 2-to-1 ratio. Crush into a paste. Apply it on the body. These mutated mosquitoes won't come back to bother us again. Hearing this, the eyes of all 3 sentries instantly lit up. Although their sentinels are tough and durable, but as long as you don't get bitten by mutated mosquitoes, of course, it's the best outcome. Qi Zhao immediately rushed towards the soldiers resting nearby, shouted loudly, "Get a few people over here. Let's make herbal paste to repel mosquitoes and insects." His roar. The sentries nearby were all startled and rushed over. So Nana had no choice but to repeat what she just said. And the ratio offerable ingredients said it again. During this time, he also saw many sentinels are covered in wounds. There are already marks from being bitten by mutated mosquitoes. After some thought, he went back to the porcelain side again. Crush the Mutated porcelain into a paste. Hand it over to stung sentinels. And tell them that applying it can relieve itching and reduce swelling. After night falls, Nana was already lying on Thesmal bed in the bamboo hut. His skin it's all smeared with mosquito repellent paste. The smell isn't actually very pleasant, but it's still acceptable. And outside the bamboo hut, the sentinels were still lying sprawled out under the open sky. The exposed skin on every person's body. A paste made from wormwood and mint was applied all over. Outside the bamboo hut, the mugwort bonfire was still burning. I have to say, the mosquito repellent effect is really good. Light it up. Whether it's mutated mosquitoes or other bugs and ants, gone without a trace. The next morning, when Nana woke up, it feels like something extra has appeared inside my body. After some thought, she summoned little mushroom. But the next second, she froze on the spot, completely stunned. Her little mushroom actually grew bigger again. The original little mushroom was short and stubby, and now, still thick and chubby. But the height had already reached his knees. Last time, a mushroom grew up overnight because it sucked blood. This time, however, it was because he had absorbed a large amount of dark energy. Is that black or harmful to little mushroom? Still a type of supplement. And that's not all. The extra thing inside of him is still there. But I can't quite put me finger on what it is. It feels like a surge of supernatural energy. Nana blankly closed her eyes, trying to take control. That energy is not quite working out. I don't feel like it is very easy to control. But just move Thattinger a little. His body will feel very comfortable. I always feel full of energy. Nana was instantly delighted. It feels like discovering a whole new world. It was soon time to go hunting and gathering. Nana trotted along. Assemble at the spot where sentries are stationed. At this very moment, he suddenly heard several long, mournful howls. It gives you a creepy feeling. Nana stopped in her tracks, turned my head to look in the direction the voice came from. At the edge of the horizon, dozens of hunting dogs came sprinting into view. They are enormous in size, running at a very fast speed. Before long, they arrived at the sentry's position. Seeing that a fight was unavoidable. This is also Nana's first time seeing the sentinels in battle. Their spiritual forms were like weapons of war. Nana's safety. Yi Zhao. forcibly pulled him onto the back of his spiritual black eagle. Just like that, he was carried away by the black eagle, looking down at the battlefield below from the sky. But he suddenly sensed something was off. These hounds don't seem keen on fighting. It's more like running for your life. It wasn't just Nana who noticed something was off. As the strategist, Yan Lu also sensed something was wrong. He suddenly looked up and roared at Black Hawk, "Yi Zhao, hurry up and bring guide Nana down." But it was already too late. Right after that, Nana spotted a black dot. It was rapidly enlarging before his eyes. It seems it's already too late to land. At this moment, Yi Zhao anxiously shouted, "Guide Nana, quick, lie flat on Black Eagle's back. Hold tight to the Black Eagle's feathers." Almost. The next moment, the Black Hawk's speed suddenly increased, swiftly dodging the attacks off another fierce bird of prey. That's the peregrine falcon, known for its speed. The mutated peregrine falcon is about the same size as a black eagle. And Nan lying on the black eagle's back. All I could hear was the howling wind by my ears, spinning rapidly in midair, faster than any roller coaster he's ever ridden. It's countless times faster. He didn't dare to make a sound, afraid it might affect Black Hawk's performance. But such an extreme acceleration. His hands began to twitch and tremble. A faint churning sensation began to stir in his chest and abdomen. Just when he was about to give up, a clear and melodious scream rang out. "It's a beautiful crane." He wedged himself right between Black Eagle and Peregrine. When the Black Eagle blocked the Peregrine Falcon's attack, that crane is precisely Jiangfeng's spiritual manifestation, not just Jiangfeng. Any sentinel that can fly. The spirits have already joined the battle. Go all out to rescue Nana. But there were simply too many peregrine falcons. Soon another peregrine falcon. The attack was directed at Black Eagle ridden by Nana, so much so that Black Eagle route. There was never a chance to bring Nana down to the ground in the first place. Because once it slows down to land, it will inevitably be directly attacked by the peregrine falcon. The Black Eagle was once again pestered by the peregrine falcon. Another round of extreme dodging. At this moment, Nana Shan's couldn't stop trembling, stomach churning. He really can't hold on much longer. The next second, he lost his grip, thrown straight out. Below was the terrified screams of the sentinels. Falling from such a height, the consequence would be unthinkable. At this moment, the crane broke free from the falcon's grip, dived straight toward the spot where Nana is falling, including Black Hawk. The same goes for them. The crane was struck hard by the peregrine falcon's talon, finally managed to catch Nana. But before Annio Neckold catch their breath, because two more peregrine falcons were chasing after them. Seeing the situation was critical, suddenly, there was a snort. A blood-red vine pierced the peregrine falcon's body. That was the spiritual entity of Orion Shen, the skyward vine. Meanwhile, the vines of the Chinese trumpet creeper on the ground continued to grow wildly, stretching out blood-red branches one by one, continuing to strike down the falcons in midair. All of a sudden, the sky was filled with the mournful cries of peregrine falcons. The crisis was resolved after Ling Zhao joined the battle. The injured white crane carried Nana safely down to the ground. Seeing that the danger had passed, the Lynxio Vina continued to grow. In the blink of an eye, they have already surrounded Nana and a group of sentinels in the center. Nana looked completely baffled, looking at Yan Lu and the solemn expressions of the sentinels. He seems to have already guessed something. Has Marshal Orion Shen also gone berserk? At this moment, military strategist Yan Lu nodded solemnly. The suppression collar, didn't work. Already used. But the powerful anestheticant, the suppression collar, it doesn't seem to have had much effect. At this moment, Lynxio Hal is still continuing to grow, little by little, towards Nana. And the place where the sentinels gather is nearby. It has clearly formed a cage, trapped them within this confined space. Qi Zhao furrowed his brows tightly. The marshal seems to have completely lost consciousness. As long as Orion Shen still is his own consciousness, it's impossible when the battle is already over. Let Linksio City Continuado grow unchecked like this. They also surrounded all of them in the middle. At this moment, all the Sentinels' expressions were grave. The frenzied Sentinel is uncontrollable. Anything could happen at any moment. For example, harming or even killing former comrades. The difference between an S-class Sentinel and an S's class 1 is enormous. Orion Shen's spiritual form soars into the heavens. His offensive war is undeniable. Oops. The sentries might be wiped out by him across the entire map. A moment later, Ling Xiao tanks at his sights on Nana. The slender vines kept growing, quickly reaching out toward Nana. Instantly, the Sentinel's pupils dilated in terror.